So when last we played, you guys had just finished. Well, let's not just talk about when last we played. Let's maybe set the scene of the whole situation, because we got a while. It's been a while since we played. So the rebellion has begun. It began in God's Hold, and it's quickly spreading throughout the rest of Westchurch and Falinar. Before the Dawn can react, the keep of God's Hold for daybreak fell in the first hours, first minutes even, as you guys and your crews stormed straight through the unsuspecting Dawn. There, you guys immediately teleported to Swiftwater and lay about the unsuspecting town before they even knew that the rebellion had begun. Taking full advantage of the element of surprise in your small size, you destroyed all the key infrastructure in the town, demilitarizing it. You took out the bridge so that the river can't even be crossed effectively there, and otherwise decimated all of the Dawn forces. You then used your second teleport for the day to move on to Fort Roshan, and invested many of your remaining resources in defeating the garrison that had, by that time, been warned and marshalled and prepared for you. But nevertheless, they were unable to put up much of a fight to the the level of power that the party has now attained. Not only were they not able to defeat you, but they weren't even able to delay you long enough for the devils in the basement to finish summoning the Demon Lord.
Big
strangely, that kind of killed Jaden himself halfway through the portal, and
stepbrother.
Suck stepbrother, exactly, and got his ass pushed in. Well, actually, that was potentially part of him that wasn't actually available for pushing in, but various parts of his upper body pushed in. By you guys in close quarters combat. I mean, to be fair, you put some threat. But ultimately,
particularly the big boom at the end.
Yeah, the party took him down, and nobody died to his final immolation. And yeah, that was the end of the successful execution of all the plans for day one. You guys took a long rest in Fort Roshan, and were preparing to begin teleporting towards AIM, where after Greybird had instructed you to, Greybird had instructed you to travel there and take command of the siege. You stopped briefly to deal with a spider queen
that had One Punch Man or some shit.
She would, it's like there's occasionally, an incursion from this is why the border is constantly guarded, because these things come along. So you guys just dealt with that real quick, and
very One Punch Man feel, yeah,
exactly, and then moved swiftly onwards towards AIM with a couple of teleports and a day of travel. You arrived at the camp, or this siege camp, in the evening, and proceeded through the camp towards the command tent, drawing a small, interested and sort of jubilant crowd, sort of impressed by your feats. You guys sort of had been growing increasingly popular. You saw, among other things, there's a sort of a big battering ram in the shape of a tiger's head being carved, and like general celebration. Bromot kind of avoided most of it invisibly. And we finished the session just after you guys had met with we're about to meet with at the command tent, following Commander Andrew Morrigan inside.
So a tiny bit of bookkeeping. Did we do the traveling activities? I can't remember if ASIC did the thing, although I'm trying to make sure my numbers are correct.
I think we did.
We did do it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, regular success, pretty sure.
Yeah, that sounded right, but I want to double check. You, by the way, no camera, David. What's up?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying every second I have to see my face, you know?
No. But I'm hating every second. So
Alright.
it's not fair.
Hi.
I do.
Hey, David.
Hey.
David, as
There
they
he
say.
is.
Hey, David.
Hey. Okay, yeah. Sorry, that was it. Okay.
Yeah, we were about to meet the general. No, not the general, but the commandant.
Yeah, and Andrew Morrigan, who's the
Oh yeah, that boy.
one of the sort of upper council of the resistance, and the one who has until now been in command of the siege. And he sort of brings you come inside. I looked everywhere.
Right,
Yes,
in the meetings.
yeah, on a couple of games. I looked everywhere online because I want to find like art for what this place looks like. It's really hard to find anything that was satisfactory, but the closest thing I could find was this this Reddit post. AI draws Minas Tirith.
Nice.
So it doesn't really look like anything, but it's got the vibe, and that's all I can really share. But where's the
Vibe is what matters. Let's see.
no, Armageddon. There we go. Wait, if I paste the image instead of the link, that'll be
Yeah.
here.
Imagine not making a handout for Roll 20.
Yeah, I should have done that. I was just browsing earlier. Here we go. That's a whole 6 megabytes, man. Huge image.
Ooh. Good thing you have Nitro. Oh, baby. Okay, that's pretty
Holy
crazy.
shit, that's pretty sick.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Maybe we need a bigger boat.
Need a bigger tiger.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can't really make any details in it because AI doesn't know what a detail is, but it's got like I said, it's got the right vibe.
Okay. Yeah, that one would be a little hard to score, but nothing's impossible.
I'm flying. Right?
Yeah, we just fly to the top.
Yeah, but you saw what happened to those eagles. That's what sure fucked them off.
And there's more. It's sort of more built up to the walls than kind of like appears in there as well. But as we said last time, the civilians have all been evacuated, or mostly been evacuated inside. Some of them have left the other way.
Been held mainly by
were allowed to leave through. Mainly by mercenaries, yes. There's like a small Dawn presence you would expect here, but like no like Dawn garrison beyond the the standard presence that would normally be here to basically police and administrate the city.
I forget that we know, but is there a reason we knew why there was such a large mercenary presence there? But you said there's the same Dawn presence there would normally be the police area, but there's a lot of mercenaries who also there.
Yeah, but the mercenaries were specifically hired to defend this city, like every
Yes, exactly. Well, they were designed to occupy this area. The intuition tactically is that they were put here to defend the ziggurat.
Okay.
Like nobody could, you basically you can't do anything at the ziggurat without. If you're, a small group could potentially sneak down unnoticed and get away with things, but like a force
lines and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, without this, dealing with this presence first.
Okay. That's what we got to deal with. It just makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah, the siege lines are drawn like a fair distance back from the actual castle, fortress itself, out of range of sort of magical artillery and that sort of thing.
What is the level of artillery on both sides? Do we have our own sort of long range siege weapons?
Both sides have sort of plenty of conventional, and then at least some. The thing about the sort of the magical artillery that's been until now mostly used on the border is it only really works with adamantine rods. It's it's the only thing that can kind of
withstand
more or less anything else you get, because you're kind of accelerating it to an extreme velocity, like shooting out of a cannon, but even in a more instantaneous moment than that. So everything else just tends to kind of disintegrate if you use it.
Yeah.
Cool.
A mag rifle only,
which is so every shot is extremely expensive. You have a total number in the low dozens maybe.
Sure.
It's not certainly known how, enough to do some serious damage, enough to, potentially. I mean, yeah, like this, and this kind of comes. I won't necessarily roleplay the whole conversation out, but Andrew Morrigan explains like the kind of the situation of the whole siege to you, and he's explains it in these terms, like you guys have the ability to attack with these weapons, but the civilian presence kind of discourages that kind of use. And other like uses of mass destruction magic, just because like they're accurate but not that accurate, and in a situation where it's basically a city, even the castle is full of civilians, like you could destroy a fair amount of it with what you have. I mean, it's an old castle, so it's pretty tough, but you could do some serious damage, but you would the civilian casualties would be in the hundreds or thousands if you fired everything you had at it, at least.
You said Minos turret. Does it have like the same where they can keep falling back behind more and more ramparts? Like,
there are upper levels to it. Yeah.
Do we know how many levels?
There's like 3 major tiers to it, basically.
Okay, good.
Sure.
I mean, I'll ask if there's like, if there's any like noticeable leadership commands, like hierarchy. If
there have been scouts that have gone inside the city. Skipping. So basically, magic is the presence of like so many spellcasters on both sides kind of emergently creates this effect of a frontier, which defines which side's magic is dominant in like that area. So, and therefore, any sort of magic that is casting across that frontier is automatically like something or some kind of counter ward or something they have will attempt to counter that in some way. Now, due to the resistant spellcasters overall being like significantly more powerful as a group, the frontier is a pretty tight enclosure, like a low dome over the entirety of the city. But still, casting spells that affect directly inside is difficult. And it's hard to get scouts inside with teleports. It can reliably then get themselves out, but it has been done. It is possible, and those that have been inside report that there is a small dawn presence commanding this army of mercenaries who are keeping order under conditions of martial law. The population is fearful, but they're also very aware of the presence of a rebel army outside the city, so they're not really kicking up much of a fuss.
What about more short-range teleportation, like dimension door spells? Are they more or less impacted?
Just basic, yeah. I mean, if you cross over the frontier just physically and then start casting around on the other side, then someone would have to be like specifically impacting you. It's only if you're casting a spell over this, like the basically into the city. But once you're inside,
from one safe spot to the other. Yeah.
Once you're inside, it's not like they're automatically counteracting all your spells at all. No.
I mean, I'll mainly I could ask. I mean, I don't know if we like wanted to play like going in or saying hey, but in general, I mean, I'll just be like, what's the current plan? What were you planning? You're a general, right? Or whatever you call yourself.
Well,
he's a commander.
This is the difficulty we face. They've successfully amassed enough forces here that, while we probably could take the city in a direct assault, it would so decimate our forces as to effectively put an end to the whole rebellion and significantly weaken our ability to securely fulfill our final objective at the ziggurat anyway.
Right. So that's kind of off the table.
Oh, do we make a play at the front and then send and I kind of gesture towards our own group, like a small group around the back to try to remove the command structure?
It's possible. If the city were infiltrated by an elite group that could either target the command structure or sabotage the defense from the inside, potentially, as you suggest, in simultaneously with a frontal assault, that could work well. It's also worth noting that I haven't seen fit to attempt to parley with them, and they have not parleyed with us at all, but one could attempt to approach under a flag of truce and talk them down.
Before that's
Get
possible,
out of game.
I think
Sure.
cutting off the dawn head is more important.
out of game, Chris, when it comes to the magical artillery, is there some form of like magical laser sighting we could do? Like if we could get there and mark targets specifically inside the city?
No, it's not. It's not that
Yeah.
accurate, unfortunately.
Okay.
That's
Again,
not
I was
bad.
thinking like
Kinda
if we can
fun.
go like have
Yeah.
items that have a strong enough magical
Yeah.
sense to them, and we can target like put them inside
If
of
it's
the
a very
barracks.
heavy magnet,
Yeah.
that magnetize against
I mean, you
adamantium.
can-
Oh man, is adamantine magnetic? It's not. Iron.
You
I don't know.
can you can target a location, and that location is guaranteed to be within the blast radius. You just can't.
You just
say,
yeah, collateral damage, got it.
Yeah, you just can't say where the actual center of that blast is going to be.
That's fair.
Well, I mean, we're here because our schedule just got freed up, so we can
Not
find
the
a way.
only reason, but I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he nods and says, I was wondering if you had a different analysis of the situation, or if there was something you can do or know that might turn the tide here, or offer a different solution."
Leon here might be able to, have some form of under a white flag discuss with the mercenaries specifically, see if he can turn some of them.
These mercenaries, do we know, like, would they have signed contract with the devils, like, basically guaranteeing they have to fight?
He shakes his head and says, "No, the only ones who are specifically contracted with the devils are the Dawn."
Yeah, in that case, it's gonna come down to the individual mostly. Like some of them are gonna go down fighting because of their honor, because of their duty, whatever. But I think you can convince a sizable portion to lay down their arms if we decapitate the Dawn head in the city.
Do we know where they would be? Like, is there a big old throne room or some shit up at the top?
I have some experience with those in the past few days.
He says, he shakes his head and says, "No, they're smart. They're moving their command structure constantly around through the city. The scouts haven't been able to pin down any consistent locations. They're aware of what we're able to do, and they're doing everything they can to stop it."
Right. I mean, it kind of looks at the others like, some mercenaries, get out of some mercenaries.
Depends on how many. These boys haven't had a lot of work for a long time. I'm sure they're eager.
Yeah, and inexperienced.
The ones in there,
Mhm.
they're young, but they're capable. They're man for man, they're at least as good as the lot we have out here.
I kind of look around at, like, our tent, like, yeah.
Look,
Again,
I
I
didn't
think he's
say
saying in the greater army size, right? Yeah, you each have like champions and people who are going to way outshine everyone else, but the idea is, at the end of the day, those don't necessarily turn a full-scale invasion or war.
No, I know we could, but, like, I mean, maybe, if we can get in there, I'm sure we can cause one hell of a ruckus.
No, of course. So I'm wondering if we can do it one of two ways, right? I think we can start with Leon trying to parlay with the mercenaries. See if we can turn any of them, at least to walk away, if not join us, to start that.
While the Dawn
Next-
is still there, they won't be allowed to walk away, right? Like, the Dawn would kill them before you let them leave.
I think it's going to be a tough sell if the status quo is still there. I mean, sure, the siege we're laying on is impressive, but they've made their choice. They're not gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give it my best.
You could also do it in a very threatening way, right? It's, hey, we are going to come down like a hammer on this city, and we don't want.
And it is truthful.
Yeah, but I mean,
Right, like, and we can promise them, like, if they throw down their weapons,
But I mean,
right,
what
when we come in,
They're
We won't-
mercenaries. They're changing their clothes is unheard of. Can't be.
yeah, but they're being led by people who aren't gonna. I mean, the people they're being led by are mercenary leaders who will change their clothes, right?
True.
They're stuck.
I look at the commander. I'm like, the financials is my forte. How are the resistance coffers? Can we attempt to buy out the offer of the Dawn?
No, they are an entire empire. We can't match the we can't even come close to matching the financial investment they made in assembling and garrisoning and maintaining this mercenary company here indefinitely.
Yeah. Like the only real carrot we have to offer, right? Like, is that the balance of the resistance against the dawn, right? It's the idea of a potential future with freedom.
Yeah, but
there. That's the carrot. Otherwise, it's a lot of the stick. It's, hey,
I've been
lay down your arms,
attempting
walk
this.
away, or meet our wrath.
People also like the taste of the carrot.
I mean, bro, I've been attempting this out for the time I've been with the resistance, with the general population. Sometimes it does work. However, the Dawn, their empire, it's ingrained at this point.
Right.
It's...
I mean, what is a timetable, Commander, that we need to, like, strictly by a certain day time? When do we need this to be resolved by?
It looks, uncomfortable. We haven't heard anything yet of the Dawn's response, but our neutralizing of their fortifications and command points within the West Church and Falanar has been extremely successful so far. Assuming Sadji and Elandria are successful in overcoming Fort Swellbane soon, we have at least a week before any force could potentially be mobilized against us, and probably longer.
But I mean, sooner the better, right?
Or how long do they have?
Oh, obviously, Beck. What I'm wondering is if we have enough time to send small groups, like your scouting groups, but with us, right? We go in there and hit specific targets. We can use ASIC to blow up in a more controlled environment rather than trying to use artillery to take out their primary infrastructure within the city. Their means to defend themselves or attack a force. We put basically the fear of the gods into them to the point that their defense is no longer as sturdy as they once thought. Then you can lay down that hammer again and say, hey, we've slowly decimated your defenses little by little over time. Now our force, there's no question that it's going to overwhelm them. I think right now in an even playing field, we still win. But we know what that does to our armies. We have to turn that tide.
Really do.
We know how their supplies look.
They're well provisioned. Certainly they can last. Certainly they can last the week. They can probably last the year.
Yeah, that's why I don't think a long time encampment here is an option. We're on too short of a timetable, so we have to harrow their forces. The other option would be a diversion, where we try to pull us and a small group with us to pull a large group of their military force away from the main gates to try to stop us while the primary force goes in. I'd prefer the harrowing because I think if we do a couple days worth of that, we can really start to destabilize things inside. And then it makes that choice much harder to say no to.
But I mean, you're saying we just get in there and then we just cause a mess and then we got to be able to get out again, right?
Well, we get out when defenses fall. I think is the idea.
No, but we'll say like multiple day kind of mini attacks, right? That
Yeah.
means we come back in and we leave, we come back in, but are we getting out when there's still...
We destroy the food supply and have a lot of angry civilians to deal with. That's quite a distraction.
Yeah, I don't. Again, we don't want to turn the populace against us as well, because while they're not going to individually amount to much if they were to turn against us, we want them on our side at the end of the day.
I mean, in the end, I'm happy to go in there. Fine. I don't care how if we really have a plan to get out, I'm sure we'll find a way.
I mean,
again, I think Moonsong and I, like, if we're within, we can easily. I mean, easily is a little understated because it's 10-minute spell casting, but teleport out.
So we could pass through that frontier signal, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, we can get out through that?
Yeah, how would that work out of game in terms of if we were from within casting outside, but not trying to cast directly into this fortified area?
No, yeah, teleporting, same problem teleporting back. Yeah, it's just difficult teleporting over the frontier.
Okay.
I mean,
so we'd have to do towards the edge.
I'm less worried. Like, if we get in and think we'll cause a big enough mess, they'll be dying and let us leave.
Mm-hmm. And again, maybe we can even do that in coordination with, like, we only have, what you said, 15-ish strikes if we can pinpoint specific areas on the wall where we know there would be the least civilian presence to give us an entry point in.
We can find a way to get in, right? Like,
Oh, I mean, I'm not too worried about that. It's more of that could also be a diversion tactic.
yeah.
I mean, I sure like the idea of using Aztec's inventions for destruction, localized. Bro, you hunt the dawn. Do you have no confidence in yourself finding this command party when you're in the streets?
I mean, looking at it, it's a rather large fortress. I definitely think, given enough days
It's a
and
big
time,
ape pile.
we could start to track them down. I'm sure enough in my abilities and skills that I could get there. Just I don't want to put the all eggs in one basket, and then if that doesn't happen,
Well, no, I'm thinking specifically not to do that. Like,
Yeah.
maybe we spread out, like specialize.
I think
in
that's if we know a
different-
generalized. Here's key defensive or offensive structures or facilities within the city, within the fortress. We can start there. Documents, personnel. We can question the mercenaries. Like we might get more and more
Yeah.
information while removing their defenses.
Yeah, we should keep it in mind at least.
That way, it's a two birds with one stone thing.
Alright, look, I mean, I reckon we just get in and play by ear, right? Like, that's always the best thing to do. You just play it by ear.
That's
mean-
how I got this far.
I prefer a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean, play by ear based on what you say.
yeah. So like, I try to like look over the map and say like, what do we know defensive structure wise or barracks, like locations of armies, anything within the fortress that we know we could try to hit that would lay some hurt on the opposing forces.
There's some key defensive towers, like clusters of artillery implements, and of course the main gatehouse, and then the gate structures, of which there are multiple between each floor or each level, going from the first to the second and the second to the third. Those are completely immobile, but otherwise. There aren't like the troops are not spending their time clustered together in barracks in evenings. They're sleeping dispersed throughout the city. The command posts are being moved every day or 2 days. They're doing a really careful job. And aside from all that, a lot of these things are specifically housed deeper within the structure of the old castle, where without destroying the outer structures first with initial strikes, you wouldn't really even be able to reach them with they're kind of deeper under several layers of structure inside. But yeah, so if your targets are basically you could really immobile, and that you could just go straight forward would be the main gate. The gate structures between each level, the towers specifically. There's large towers spaced evenly along the outer wall, and also between those towers there are areas wide flat areas mounted with several trebuchets or ballistae, 4 of them in one sort of low flat area of the wall. Those are mostly on the outer wall, because there's a few ballistas further back, but not ballistas, trebuchets further back, but the mangonels and ballistas and stuff don't really have the range from the higher tiers even to shoot over the lower wall. It's so far from these ridiculously sized castles. So most of them are on the outer wall.
Plenty of targets. It'll be hard to miss one of them.
If you're looking to penetrate somewhere, probably the main gate is the easiest place to make a hole. Otherwise, you more or less just pick any section of wall and pulverize it into nothingness with enough. You'd probably 10 or 12 shots, and it'd be nothing would really be still standing in that area, and you've got more than enough for that. So you can create, if you want to artificially create a breach, you can do so more or less at will. But yeah, like it would be quite destructive.
How thick are the walls of the city, like the outer walls and inner walls?
Like at least 50 feet, but like it's not solid stone. It's like
Right.
there's structures and stuff inside.
Yeah.
Because I heard about this
Um,
new insistent
but,
door
like,
knocker item.
You know, like thicker at other points. But again, like it's mostly a building.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like certainly like the thinnest outward facing point of stone would be like 10 feet thick.
Yep.
Um,
Need at least a level 2. Got it.
Alright, so we got some targets. I think going for the outer wall defenses first is pretty smart.
I mean, main game was obvious, right? What I mean, I'm not a tactician, but you know, if I was trying to defend the city, that's when I'd be most fucked if it went down. Right?
Yeah.
True. I mean, I think
It's-
the main
it's a
gate is
strength
definitely a target
power.
we have to hit. I don't think you start there because that's where they would probably have the most forces prepared. Because it's the single easiest entry point.
I guess so. I mean, to me, that means it's like a better thing to hit, but I get from a safety point of view, it probably was.
There's no rush in getting to the gate. I think
Yeah.
maybe this is a foolish idea, so stop me if you don't like. But while we're in the city and we're trying to convince the population that what we're doing is a good idea, and that the mercenaries should lay down their arms, maybe we should have a message. I suppose a simple, direct message, a few words perhaps. The resistance is here. Keep it short. Whenever we destroy
Resistance
something,
needs
whenever
you. No, okay.
Leon, head of
you get-
marketing.
Yeah.
Propaganda is coming in full force.
just anything to try and spin this invasion of ours into a positive thing, which it is, of
Yeah.
course.
Support
Yeah,
our
of course.
troops. There's a couple things you could do.
We are here to save you, stop resisting.
Yeah, there's so many good
Protect yourself.
Fucking too far into the American police force idea here.
Guys, you're putting a bet.
Ah.
Is there like a specific color schema for the resistance?
Yeah, we must have some marketing people in here. Like, come on.
We could use the
Like
the
a
old
red
Forsworn
banner, a blue
colours.
banner, a green banner, a pink. I don't know.
Yes,
What is it?
it's a bunch of old adventurers in their adventuring gear they picked up over time.
Oh, it's really
This-
vague.
really,
Right,
guys.
but again,
really
I
vague.
guarantee, like Alandria and Saji, they would end up
Yeah.
pulling, and that would end up being the calling card, right? Like that would
Okay.
be
Yeah,
the
You
thing.
take down the flag off the door and you put
So
up a
it
new
it
flag,
probably is
What
blue
about
because
the-
I know Alandria's armor
Yeah.
had blue on it, and Saji turns into a fucking blue dragon. So
Sure.
It's like the Wales flag with a blue dragon.
Like blue and white, some kind of blue
Yeah,
and white
yeah.
colors.
okay,
Okay.
just wondering. Start just sticking.
Stolen
Would that be
things.
recognized?
Hang
Like,
on, hang on.
like we're a
It's
secret
Estonia.
organization, right?
It's Estonia.
But like we're a secret organization, right? Like we've never used this flag.
When we put it up, like when we took over, whatever, Godsold, right? We took down the flags on their fort. We would have put up our own flags.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Finnish
Blue
flag,
and white.
blue and white, yeah. And we say they're finished, and no one gets the fun.
God damn it! All right, so I think we can start with the. We just need to find a way in. Do we want any form of even mild bombardment to try to do distraction while we enter? Do we want to try to evacuate citizenry? I'm sure it's too many, but if we could do it from certain areas, then maybe we could bombard a little bit easier.
We send messages back. Like if we manage to evacuate, how are we gonna even send the conventional magic? Like before we send messages and stuff, will that pass through the frontier? Like if we don't have a way to contact out there, we don't really have a way to let them know when it's safe.
I point to my signal arrows.
Yeah, alright. I don't know. I mean, it's magic, right? Would it pass through unaffected through the frontier?
But it's more if you'd see like a firework in the air.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if the magical aspect of it passes through the frontier, will the magic still exist on the other side, kind of thing?
I mean, I don't think
Well,
it's
I
going
mean,
to be that
you
low
don't
in
have
the
to go
sky.
through it, right? You could just
Unless
shoot
it's like
back.
just like perfectly like X feet from every square inch of
No, okay,
space
I mean, that's
within.
true. I mean,
If it's a
also
big
fucking
dome,
huge,
there's
right?
going to be a pretty large area it can be within and still be within the
I guess so.
frontier.
Well, while I think evacuations are a good idea, I'm not sure we should do it in
Yeah, I
order
don't think to the
destroy.
scale. Right.
Because nobody's ever gonna.
The areas are most interesting, like the walls and shit, right? I mean, there won't be any citizens near there anyway, civilians, right? Like,
Duh.
I mean,
Yeah, no,
I would assume
they're
so.
like housed within the walls. They're like
Yeah.
like
there would be? Okay.
yeah.
Man, that's a fucking terrible place to be put in your civilian. You guys are part of the wall structure.
There's this-
Normally,
Well, like,
that would probably be a decent
again,
spot.
Random.
Again, you typically will have like at least 10 feet of stone between you
Yeah,
and
I guess
anything
so.
crashing into the exterior. It's like this. It's it's more it's more like even these old castles weren't really constructed with the idea of these particular like these modern forms of like mass
Yeah,
destruction
true.
magic in mind. They're almost they're certainly impervious against any ballista or trebuchet or
Yeah, sure.
and I mean, it's Andrew Morrigan would note that, neither side yet has used any, like significantly destructive magic like that.
Yeah.
They probably haven't, mostly, out of fear of provoking you guys into using it. And doing it would mark a fairly significant escalation and probably make it harder to convince the local population of your.
Yeah. What's the setup time as well? Like, if we launch the first one, how soon after our first launch could they be retaliating? Like, with them? Like, do they need to, like, gather, would there be, like...
Depending on if their state of readiness is similar to yours,
Yeah.
in, like, a few minutes.
Okay, yeah.
But not, not immediately.
We got to
They
clearly say...
they take a while to, like, target and sight.
Launch one of us, it fucks us up a lot more if we launch one of them, right? But we're, like, just spread out in a field, basically. Like, if one hit, like, our campground, it would just completely decimate us, I assume.
Yeah, although most of your like significant camps, significant structures, including where you are right now, is housed like out of range of anything.
Okay.
Anything from that. It's
Would we get a reflex save?
It's more you guys, you just have like some forward structures and stuff.
Yeah.
But at least
Because
see
if
just
so,
no
I can feel
damage.
confident about avoiding it all.
Maybe a fortitude save.
How many are like
Yeah.
the... What is the total number of, like, troops in this area? I can remember if you mentioned before. Like, the resistance, like, numbers.
You have between like 10 and 15,000
In this siege, or in general? In total?
in this siege here, which is most of the
Most of the active
forces, about
ground
75%. Yeah.
Oh, let's just
Yeah.
find a way in there. Maybe the first day we don't launch any of these fucking, horrible
Right.
things, We just,
The only reason I was thinking of saying that is as a slight diversion. To give us a better chance of entering unnoticed.
we can just launch, we could do a bit of conventional sieging right against walls. It won't do anything, but at least we'll get their attention.
The only thing is if our siege weaponry is normal siege weaponry is within range of hitting anything, then theirs are in range of hitting our siege weapons.
I mean, sure, why would that's the nature of the siege? Like, if we're major
Right.
them, they're going to be major to us. Like,
I'd like to avoid the potential for
But
losses.
if we get in range for our magic shit to hit them, they'll be in range for their magic shit to hit us, right? I don't know. I always liked more, man and man fighting and relying on these fucking machines.
Sure, agreed.
All right, one more question from me.
Weapons of mass destruction are terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm down for with success, but do you guys want to start to try with a talk with those in the city, or do you want to start with an assault and have a chat later?
I mean, Leon, if you reckon you could talk down a fucking castle, then we go ahead. But
Check what his diplomacy bonus is.
Here's my thinking. I think we don't to start with, and the reason why is I don't want them to know that all of us are here.
Right.
They might be able to get to that point, but if we have at least a small element of surprise that our somewhat elite and now infamous group is here. We kind of made a name for ourselves in this exact area before.
Yes, but also
Wood's famous,
it
by the
could
way,
turn
but
to our
whatever.
advantage. could
more
be
than
to our
famous.
advantage. Because I'm sure the population has heard whispers as well.
Wait, do you guys not know Three Amigos?
No.
That's I know Three Amigos. That's the location we landed in PUBG.
Ah, that's true. That's true.
Oh god, it's an old but hilarious movie, and you should all watch it.
Alright.
I think it still holds up in my
I'll
opinion.
put it on the list.
But like,
It's so good.
I think I know which one you're talking about. But
I mean,
yeah,
it's
heard
pretty
of
funny,
it.
but
I'm just saying, Leon, you are legendary in
Oh.
diplomacy. Like, what is the point of being legendary in
What are
diplomacy?
the example DCs for diplomacy
That's
legends?
why-
What's it for? It's
What?
not now.
Alright,
What's
but
like
when
the
other
rumors
party is
within the
like-
city, for good and bad, right? Like for the citizenry, it's there's these heroes here who really fuck up the Dawn. The Dawn are on edge. The mercenaries are feeling a little less secure. Then Leon comes out with his big dick diplomacy and just blast them all.
We could talk to them once we infiltrate the city on the down low, right? Just find whatever tent they're staying in, and then try to diplomacy, and also just the stake diplomacy if they disagree because we're already there.
But you like the way
You mean
got
like
big
locate
swords and
them-
make
We would have to
Nice.
locate them, yeah.
You mean as in
The
find the
mercenary
mercenary leaders, right?
Yeah,
They would be the ones to target if you wanted to incite a general revolt of the mercenaries against the. And by target, I mean diplomatically. No, I don't think you would
And-
incite
and
very
the
much if
only-
you targeted them aggressively.
Is it a few big mercenary companies together? Or are they mainly like what's the situation?
There are a few names that we know who are well respected within the groups of mercenaries and have been placed in command of large swathes of the group under the Dawn. We don't know exactly where any of them would be at any given time because they're moving everyone around, but they could be located potentially by a scouting mission,
Yeah, you got any like
or
you
you
know
could
their
go and locate
names?
them yourselves.
You know their
He
names?
nods and like
Yeah,
he brings he like goes through some sort of paperwork and like reports and stuff, and and brings together a collection of like 4 or 5 individuals who are of like various stature. He notes what they know about them, and kind of as you go through the notes about these and like sort of general other all their sort of notes about the mercenary garrison, it does. Like the thing that does strike you, as he kind of alluded to earlier, is the young age of most of the mercenary company. I mean, they're not all like sort of in their 20s or whatever, but like especially compared to, as you guys even noticed yourselves, the age of like the resistance being so many. Like it kind of strikes you that most of these people probably have very little memory of significant memories of time before the Dawn were ever here. Unlike yourselves, and therefore maybe that's something to appeal to, or something that makes them harder to sort of convince, or however you face it. But
Do they have examples of like their like heraldry, or like, I mean, not heraldry, but like their banners or anything? Like if we were in there, we saw like a tent, would we better recognize like, oh, that's like this guy's tent kind of thing? Or like if their mercenary people are wearing like symbols to denote they're part of like a company, that kind of stuff.
like the companies
So like we would
have like company
recognize
badges that you
like
That's-
that's what's the name's company. We should ask them
the
where
bear
this
company, the
is.
cat
Yeah,
company.
where's
or
your
whatever.
Captain Polar?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, let's just go in and see what happens. Like, come on, we'll never know until we try. Okay. Ooh. What's the time?
No time like the present.
We want to get in though.
yeah, it's currently pretty late evening on the 29th of September. You guys have just sort of spent the day. This morning you woke up and fought the Spider Queen, and then teleported twice, and then travelled across a bunch of countryside, and eventually got here.
No, I mean nothing like the morning, right?
Get an early night's sleep? I guess I'll take it.
I kind of like how over the scouting team been getting in before?
Magic, or finding ways to hike around the mountain and up and over the walls that way. They're watched for, but it's slow going and dangerous climbing. But it is possible to make your way in undetected that way.
Moonstone, do you have meld stone?
Ooh, sorry.
Have a look. See. I
Melts.
don't see any melding of stone.
mean, the
Why have you got so many spell lists, Tom?
Because I have archetypes.
Yeah.
I've got not from 3 of them.
I don't see meldstone in any of these though.
Shit. Yeah, Meltstone is not one of them.
How much having so many spellcasting archetypes and still don't have the fucking spell?
That sounds much more primal than most of the other spells in my spells. Primal is a tradition, I don't know. Hey.
If anything,
Once
I
we're
have
within
lots of
sight,
that.
I can pretty easily jump about, right, with Dimension Door.
Jump up, okay.
So, like, if we can get within the bubble, right, I can Dimension Door, we fly, like, to the top of it, let down a rope. Things like that. Wouldn't be too hard. It's getting to the wall.
Flying's another way you can try and get in. It's just when you cross into that cross over threshold, something will attempt to counter the fly spell.
Mhm.
If you're low enough when that happens, then it's not really a risk. It's
Right.
it's definitely a possibility people get in that way.
What are we talking about? How do
In
people
that
do it?
case, I could just fly in. You can contract my flying.
Like flying in, it's just you're at risk of like having your fly spell counteracted as you cross the threshold. But like if
What
you're,
we need
if
is
you're only
mist
flying
form.
like a short distance above,
Could we
the
like
wall-
drop in, like taking up
I
real
mean,
high?
I
don't
can
know,
just
something?
fly in. My wings are just part of me.
No, we're all good for you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
is it gonna try to counteract magical items?
I mean, only
Nah.
the actual passing itself, right? It might be like temporary, like on the fritz, I guess. Well, what if
it
we
would
have
only
like,
really impacts like you attempting to
do
try.
we have like a dragon or some shit? We could like fly up real high and then just like jump off, and then like I don't know, when we're really close to landing, I don't know, use some
Jump
magic.
off.
Yeah, the dragon.
Bro.
Yeah, there are a handful of dragons available to you guys. I probably should have listed those earlier in the
No,
things.
yeah.
The ones that zombies came over
Pick
with.
one of those way up and then just jump off, and then just right before you land, I don't know, just there's magic, right? You can like potions or some shit. I'm sure make you bouncy.
I'm worried about the part where we hit the ground.
There must be bouncy potions.
I mean, you have a tiger that can fly.
Yeah, but is it gonna be a thing to try and make her fly while we're falling from a dragon into the concrete of a city?
Right, but there are bouncy potions, I'm sure. Just make sure we make a couple of those.
Are you sure?
The
bouncy
Just
potion.
sure.
I mean, so
I looked to
bouncy
ASIC.
potions,
If
right?
there's someone in our party who would know, it'd be ASIC.
Well, he knows elixir.
I know.
But it would have to be
Potions
an
are
elixir.
magic.
It would have to be an elixir, right? Yeah, for him to know.
Yeah, potions, though. I'm sure Moonson knows all about potions.
Mhm.
Potions of cat food.
I mean, at there we could get potion. I mean, out of game we could get potion of fucking Featherfall, right? We'd drink it when we passed through the prismatic king, whatever Chris calls it. 20.
Ding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Become like a real paratrooper seal team.
Yeah, you
I
jump
like
in, you pull the chute, and by pushing, I mean drink the potion, and not
Yeah.
sure.
Or
Pretty sick.
you have Featherfall, which I'm guessing none of us
Yeah,
took.
feather.
That's what I'm talking about. You have like potions
Yeah.
of Featherfall, and you chug it when you.
It's a
get
spell, it's not a
flowers or
potion though.
We say none of us.
something. Every magic spell can be a potion.
What?
Can it though?
Maybe?
Well, I
Maybe
just-
I'm
I
lying.
feel like-
in Pathfinder
I'm lying,
1,
right? I'm
maybe.
lying, I'm lying,
You're
I'm
definitely
lying.
not true in Pathfinder 2.
Potion of Featherfall, I'm pretty sure it does, right?
Yeah,
Maybe it
so-
does, maybe it doesn't. I found the spell.
I mean, there's Ring of Featherfall,
Yeah.
which got to do some of these bad boys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, get some rings of featherfall and they'll do. I'm sure no one has all their rings locked full.
There's a consumable level 3 item, which gives you the Featherfall.
What's that? What kind of item is it?
Snap Leaf, level 3, a fixed item talisman.
Oh, so there's actually like a parachute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could
You
definitely
also
sort
gain the
myself out
benefit
some
of a
those.
second level invisibility spell, so it's like super like fucking
Oh,
jump in,
it's made
fucking
for
activating
this.
invisible and like fucking
I like
You
man.
guys want to see? Okay, yeah. So you guys want to
There is
snap
some
these in
some
from
of that,
Dragon
right?
Or
Bear?
virtually the 504.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Oh,
definitely have some of those.
Yeah, passion from Dragon back.
That's slightly
No, I
insane, but it will
like
definitely increase your legend among the.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Exactly, that's so cool.
Wait, do we make the dragon?
Especially
visible?
when
Nah.
back to chooses not to use it and just like
yeah. I
it
got
and stands up and it's
Man.
totally fine.
I don't think falling down perpetually is kind of high though. I think. What
It's
about
That's not like
super high.
riding.
Could you just
It's
not, like,
way higher than
Can you not just
fighting.
like cat foot all the way down or some shit?
If you're legendary in the
Yeah,
acrobatics,
legendary, exactly. Yeah.
Legendary acrobatics down. But yeah, let's just do that. That sounds fucking like great fun. I mean, it sounds scary as shit, but I mean, cool.
Quick question. I love this plan. Let's do the dragon. Let's do the falling, and then we go crazy.
Yeah,
Moonsault.
I
quick
fucking
question.
can't. I can do that.
So
Holy
you can
shit!
jump. You don't even need it. You just.
I don't even need it. I am legendary in acrobatics, so I can
And-
always
and-
land on my feet, and I don't take damage regardless of the distance of the fall.
Yeah,
You
you
know the
got
crazy
that,
thing,
man.
George. You don't even
Same
need to
for
be
me.
conscious for it. You don't need to be awake for it. It just happens.
I'm also legendary acrobatics, and I have Catfall, and I can cast Featherfall on 2 people as well.
Oh, you also. Okay,
Oh.
then it's
I have
four.
Featherfall.
Oh, so
What
that's
about
Four
you?
of us
I
fine.
want the leaves. I want
Yeah, the leaves are so
leaves.
cool.
Yeah.
They also give me invisibility.
That's true. That is pretty nice.
And you guys never have anything affix to your armor anyway, so it's not like it's
Nah.
taking up a useful slot.
Yeah.
Imagine using talismans.
Right? Man, this is the only time I've ever seen a useful talisman.
Okay.
Alright, well, let's do that in the morning. That sounds like a. When the start of the siege.
Quick Moonsong, I just want to confirm, because you're studied with societies and all that. Our whole plan of shooting first and asking questions later. That's the way to go.
I mean, we'll like history books, right? Not that.
I mean, when you're
She's gonna ride on
castle
Evanian.
and the castle knows that you're kind of coming. They believe that the attempts of diplomacy are middling at best.
Oh, do we have anyone who can like stir up a storm so there's like really good cloud coverage?
I don't know, maybe if I really think about it. I don't know. Every so often I just like.
Actually.
Oh, there was
Wait,
a
okay,
dance
you-
we used to do down,
Really? But there aren't any clouds on there, is there?
You can't learn to control the weather in the Underdark. There is no weather in the Underdark. Or the
Shit.
Dark Lands.
I mean, the underground rivers flow more,
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Chris, can I use this to like influence the weather as well?
Maybe.
You want my friend?
Ooh, baby.
You can't do
Certain
that?
type of
Dragon Door.
animals in the region. Oh, you could totally influence all the rats in the city to start like just biting.
Oh my
giving
god, so we're
disease
gonna call
to
the fucking 7 plagues upon them. The locusts.
Oh,
Exactly.
like that's-
and then literal legends falling from the sky on the city.
I mean, I have primal 6th level spell. I mean, man, I could have turned into a dragon myself. What the hell?
All the things you never thought you could do, and then you're like, oh fuck, what the hell?
I mean, maybe I think really hard. I'll just turn it on you.
One, but then still ride on the back of it.
Lightning
another
storm.
larger dragon.
I mean, I could create a lightning storm, but I mean, I think that's not exactly that high. It's like you
Well,
create down a storm.
I can gather like all the birds in like a mile radius or like miles of radius and just have them fly around the dragons, but it's
There's an 8th level ritual control weather.
Oh, baby, so close.
2 mile radius centered
I
on
mean,
you. for
alright,
40
this
12
stuff is
hours.
really cool, but I mean, if we're full, I mean, will they even see us coming? We'll be tiny, right? Maybe they will. I don't know how good the eyes are.
I'm thinking of that scene in Godzilla 2014.
I mean, we're gonna be fast, right? Like, even if they see us coming once we jump off the dragon, like, we're gonna be down and doing shit in like a few seconds, right? Like, I don't know how much. I don't know how much. I mean, this trap should be really useful if we try and be sneaky, but I mean, once we get down there, most of the pretense of, being hidden is away, right? I mean, that's what I was planning at least. I guess
Yeah,
if
I'm
there's
just
no one
thinking,
around, we can do more.
if we're thinking feats of strength and things in that area,
I don't
just
have
like
much else.
having like omens of giant flocks of birds flying over the city, it strikes my fancy.
Oh, I mean, if you can do it, I mean, it doesn't hurt, right? Unless they, come up the dragon's wings and we go in a crash dive or something.
Go into the dragon's rotors.
Exactly. I don't know how the jets work on those things.
Alright.
Alright, so let's go on
So
those dragons.
at this point, yeah, time to go talk to the dragons about this.
Yep.
The dragons.
Like, hey, do you mind It's called a dragon Uber,
We're
basically.
gonna drop off from real high up, but they don't need to worry too much. They're not gonna be
Yeah.
anything.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, you guys go to. I mean, it's late, but like whatever. Who needs sleep? You guys just travel through for it's like probably a couple of hours through the camp to the area where the dragons sort of have carved out a vast swath of the countryside that was here. They just kind of like used their like the large dragons just kind of like use their tails to like level houses and fields and stuff and just make like a big flat area for the dragons to kind of nest in. When dragons aren't all that like whatever about humans stuff, as it turns out. But yeah, they they see you guys approaching, and kind of a large silver dragon turns to faces towards you guys, and then comes to the fore, and waits to see what you have to propose patiently.
Hold up a hand. Greetings. I'm Leon. These are my friends.
Hey.
Greetings.
We're here because we require a... By the way, it is an honor to meet you. Could I ask her name?
I am Taliandar.
Taliandar, I'll remember this. We've had a great experience with a dragon, a metallic dragon before called Smira. What was his name? Shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Bronze dragon who
Asselmira.
started this whole thing.
Yeah.
Asselmira.
I'm not sure. She was quite ancient at the time, but she really inspired with me in reverence for dragons. Reverence. That's what you said. That's how you say.
That's
it.
the word.
Yeah.
Isolmira is well revered among our people. It was not known what had happened to her.
It is not known.
It was
Wait,
not.
we do know now.
You said now that you had spoken with her. What happened?
Right. So yeah. So we had on happenstance we found her home, or a resting place at least, deep down bowels of the earth. She had a cave. She invited us because she said she foresaw us coming, and she would require a raid. And then the following night, she told us of great troubles that we would aid in, and she gave us some items, some artifacts that she had gathered, and we could choose from. Kind of like, show my shield.
Racer.
We
See this
of course,
sweet dragon tooth necklace, or maybe.
there's not hers. other.
Oh, she gave this one willingly.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Normal dragon dental procedure.
Of course, extremely grateful. We were surprised and saddened to learn that it was actually her last night on this mortal plane. And she departed. She turned into stone. Right, that happened? Yeah, she turned into stone. Right? Oh, bronze. Yeah. She turned into bronze.
It was really yellow stone.
Yikes.
I see. Then some of what we have heard from your kinsman about the group of you comes clearer into focus. Gifted relics as part of the final prophecy of Isolmira.
Yeah.
Tell us then, champions, why have you come seek us out?
Well, we do our best to honor this task given to us. And to kind of like point towards back in the city. That city is in need of redemption and freeing of their occupiers. For that, we need to get in. Look at the wings. And we could use a way of getting up high so we can descend from above. Of course, it is not an easy favor to ask of a dragon, a noble creature such as you, However, seeing as we have the same goals and wishes for the future of this world, I hope you can provide us this honor.
It would be our honor to provide such aid to those who bear these relics. We can get you as high as you need to be. However, do you have the means to land yourself safely? We cannot approach close to the ground within the confines of the city. The defenses are far too strong.
Yes, we've considered this. And, we have our ways. Don't worry about us.
Very well. Then simply speak with me when you wish to depart.
How big is the Taliandor? Yeah, dark.
He is huge. There are no gargantuan
That's fair.
dragons here.
Yeah.
It's a mix between large and huge, and within that, some of them are huge, and some of them are
Yeah. As a general out of game question, if we know this, what would the metallic dragons think of Zendorix?
I don't know. You're not an expert in sort of dragon lore, but you would imagine that he's a pretty sort of reviled. He's like the sort of Voldemort of their history. He's like the kind of
the Death Eaters loved him.
They did love him, but that's probably the chromatic ones who are sort of more about them.
Yeah.
The metallic ones probably.
Yeah, it's already they hate him because other type of dragon, but then on top of that to come back as demi-lich almost type of craziness. Okay.
Right. Yeah, somebody nice to look forward to getting up there.
Yeah. And you honor us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's Taliandor nods.
Well, it's your honor. Did Andrew come with us, or did he just? Did Andrew?
Yeah, he came with. He's hanging back, so they're like 10 or 15 feet.
Alright, I guess I'll just alright, I guess we better get some shut-eye. Do we have we go anywhere, or have anything, they want us to be anywhere to sleep in case you go down the line or something? I don't know.
It says, I had some courses prepared for you. Fortuitously, they aren't actually far. They're a short distance back the way we came. I'll walk you there on my way back to the command tent.
Oh, nice.
There's nothing particularly fancy. It's
what?
Oh, he's back.
No.
It's nothing particularly fancy. You guys are shown to a group of tents, but each one has all of the basic camping supplies that might be needed, regardless of whether or not you guys have brought them yourselves. That's they're a bit larger, and the area you guys kind of have staked out for yourselves a bit more space than the sort of the average person has, but it's not you're not living the high life or anything.
Individual tents. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I haven't done that for a long time.
Yeah.
I haven't had a tent for a long time.
Oh yeah.
What joyous to me. This thing has a roof. What the fuck?
We don't have to go anymore.
Wow.
Imagine you haven't been renting suites since level 5. We
never go through inns.
I know it's the wrong campaign.
Not fair.
Whenever I ask,
Most of the resistance.
Alright, we'll wake me up when we want to go, I guess.
Oh, well, when do you guys want to wake up? A long rest is at minimum going to take you until at least a couple of hours after sunup, so there's not really the possibility of going at first light.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we time it a la Gandalf coming from the west over the hilltops?
Yeah, I was thinking
right as the light is shining down,
they
can't look up into the sky.
You can, but not if you want to get a long rest. If you don't need those resources back specifically, then you could go. But
you'd still be fatigued, right?
You guys stayed up a bit late. Yeah, you'd be fatigued.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's super bad. Yeah.
But the mountains are to the southeast, they're going to block the sun, right? So if you time it,
we'll come up when the sun rises above the mountains, perfectly at 10:22 a.m.
That's why you're the smart one. Is
I never really knew how shadows worked, but now it all makes sense. All right, wake me up at 10:15 then.
I'll set the alarm.
yeah.
Great, thanks, Leslie.
Set the rooster.
Fall asleep nice and quick. Sweet.
Yeah, yeah. No surprise attacks in the night. You guys get your
Like
your
a
long rests.
Alright,
The morning
alright.
comes. Do you just go back and seek out the dragons again?
Yeah, I guess like
Do we
as
have-
you woke up.
Do we have all the needums you guys need? Because apparently, I just want to make sure, Chris, by rules, am I actually safe to do this whole legendary catfall
Of
thing?
course, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the catfall feat and your legendary acrobatics, right?
I'm double confirmed, but yeah, I mean,
Double check.
Yeah, I don't-
Actually, man, if they have like if the magic barrier just like fucks up talismans though, we're just dead. What an anticlimactic way to go for like us two though. If like it just doesn't work and we just splat and it's like fuck, that's
Yeah.
really shit.
wait,
it's
Yeah,
still
no,
safe
right.
of you.
I put it onto
Dude, that's
sneak
true.
and not that, so I'm only
Ooh,
master.
I
Never
don't-
mind, I can't.
Oh what?
So I do need a way to fall.
You also
Yeah,
get one of
like
these cool parachutes.
I
Get a
can be a
parachute.
tiny rat in somebody's pocket, right? That's fine.
Oh yeah. Look at
Right,
that.
sweet terminal velocity and always survive. It's fine.
I love
if
the
you're-
way you always have
like,
to
if you're in my
specify being a
pocket, you're always
tiny
fine.
rat because you're
Oh, yeah.
always a rat.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course.
exactly.
And
That
then
would
I-
be good. We'll get
And
it.
then I don't have to see the ground, far below us. It's gonna be perfect.
Yeah, you can do it if you want. That's
I mean, the wings look bigger than I remember from the other.
Do we need wait? How are we doing it with Claudia? Claudia's come with, right? Leon?
Yeah, but you can go tiny or small.
Oh, you go in your.
We can share pocket.
Okay. Make sure to tell her that's us.
Yeah, she's a bit of a fan. She has acquired
Oh.
taste.
Alright, but I see I'm ready.
Wait, but okay, so that's
Deliver
three
me.
of us that will use the leaves.
Mhm.
Should we draw some straws to see who
Wait,
moons will
four.
save?
You can save the other two moons though.
I mean,
yes, that's
yeah.
fine.
I don't know if that's the way to go about it.
I'm pretty happy with that way. Let's do it that way.
Well, at the time, we'll just roll a d3 at the time if it comes to that.
No. I reckon moons are, I just give you like a nod, like yeah, get him.
Don't listen to
Hey.
him.
Yeah, I believe you do have the best chances of not being too mangled when you land.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Nick.
Yeah. Alright, let's go say hey to Tally or whatever her name was.
Her name was Taliandor.
It was a he, Leon.
Didn't I say it?
No,
Oh, it
you
is.
said her.
It's early. Normally, at
Alright.
least.
Alright, yeah,
Let's
we go back. We go Secret Dragon. Wait, did you decide we get have all the bird following us, Leon? What's up with that?
Well, that'll quite some time, I think. And we don't have. If you're legendary
Oh,
in
yeah.
nature, I'm a legendary in nature.
What else could you be legendary in? Intimidation, maybe?
Well, you can only be legendary in one thing right now, right?
Yeah, maybe that's his one thing. Wait, I'm legendary
Can
in two
you?
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Legendary
thinking so.
toothpicks.
How?
Because
You
level
get another
15 you
skill
become
increase,
legendary,
that's-
and level 17 you can become legendary. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm
Really?
gonna have to fucking go back through everything because I'm like, if I would, I definitely would have done acrobatics.
Go back, check everything.
Okay, so yeah, I could do it in 10 minutes actually.
Oh, yeah. I just went
yeah,
to
so-
the
yeah,
shadow
so-
boxing this morning anyway.
Could I have like tried to with patience and time? I have no idea. Like I guess like in my connection with Cernia, could I have like tried to influence the avian society?
of the air! The time is now!
Yeah,
We're
avians.
going to rise
The
again!
avian society.
The avian presence in this area to like help us in just like gathering every bird in a range of miles and miles and just like fly over the city as like an omen.
And the parrots go, Death is coming!
With this influence nature bullshit,
Yeah.
patience and time.
No, but the last one says only takes 10 minutes, baby.
So,
not that
yeah,
much patience. Not that much
so-
patience.
And you're legendary in it, yeah, okay.
If you're legendary, you skip the patience and time. It's like,
Yeah,
patience.
yeah,
you
right.
let it-
Like 10 minutes, whatever.
I mean, yeah, go ahead and roll some fucking nature check.
Dude, the birds.
Right,
go.
like-
Oh, wait, so at what point do you do this though? Like,
In the morning.
Man, it's gonna take so long for the birds to get here, though.
No, there are birds. They're fast.
There's no traffic in the sky.
Why, if I could have done it last night,
When you call every bird, there's a lot of traffic.
Could I have done it last night as well, Chris, or is that too late?
yeah, you did it. Yeah, let's say you did it last night, a quick one before bed, and yeah, like by morning, there is indeed a sort of not so much a dense cloud as more as like the whole sky above the city, like way from high to low, is like it's like lightly filled with birds, gliding long wide circles like an ill omen as you described.
Nice.
There's like there's just many thousands and thousands of birds at all altitudes, from high to low. So just in the general area above the city, like if they fill a vast volume. Not like a sort of when you see a swarm of birds. What's it called?
Yeah.
A flock. Thank you. A flock of birds flying. A school of birds flying all together. So a bunch of individual birds flying sort of ominous circles.
And they're gonna be so happy they got rations for weeks now in the city. Gonna shoot down all these birds. Like, oh my god, what are all these turkeys doing?
We're going, motherfucker.
Man. This would have been the real play, Jack. When you call the birds here, we poison them, then you send them over to fly down, then they shoot the poison birds, and then they die. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's the big brain play.
I think the birds were slightly less friendly to me. If we put
That does sound a little bit close to war crimes, though.
Alright, legend power.
There ain't no Geneva in this world.
Okay, let's just use the nukes then.
Legend use it. We are it. Alright, yeah, let's go on the dragon, man.
Yeah, let's go over it.
Okay. As you meet up, Taliandar is kind of eyeing the swarm of birds circling over the city and says, "Was that you? Do you intend to use them to hide our presence?"
Poorly. Another thing is, I thought it would be nice way to set the stage for the people within the city to know today is important.
Leon really just wanted to John Woo this shit.
It's all my nose.
Taliandar continues watching us as if we fly high enough. We can be so high as to be easily mistaken for birds from the ground, but the conditions at such altitudes are inhospitable to those not used to flying there. Will that be a problem?
We don't gotta be there for long, do we?
Yeah,
How long can a normal person hold their
We'll be
breath?
there for some minutes at least if we want to approach from a safe position behind the mountains.
But inhospitable. Is that like really cold or really hot when you're in the sun, right?
Very, very cold.
Really cold.
And
Oh,
the air is thinner.
alright.
What is air? It's already nothing.
Oh, I shrug like, as long as it's not gonna freeze me to death, I reckon I'll be alright.
Well, as long as we're not too low that you are in risk yourself, I think it is actually not a bad idea for people to see you in your form.
Leon's all about its mental stuff, like.
I think it's important, but maybe it isn't.
What else is
Oh, mine. Whatever you're comfortable with, I guess.
Moonscythe, don't you have like a relevant? Do you have like an aura or something?
Oh yeah,
Traveling
everybody's
aura?
like comfortable if they're inside
Yep,
Moonsong's aura.
Everyone within like 20 feet.
Alright, Moonsong, speak
I
up,
don't think we're all
Moonsong!
going to be on the same dragon, will we?
Were we? Oh, I thought we were going
It
to be.
says,
Yeah,
what's the range of? What is the range of your aura?
20 feet,
Probably.
is it?
We could all be on the same dragon, right?
Only 20
They
feet.
definitely
Yeah.
put it in.
That's.
Yeah, 20 feet.
I mean,
20 feet, cool.
as long as Claudia's in like pocket cat
Yeah,
form.
Claudia and Attica both, so there's only 4 of us.
Yeah, Claudia's
Yeah.
pushing boots right now.
Yeah, we could all be on one dragon, right? It'd be fine.
That's
And one dragon might struggle at that altitude, but 2 dragons could fly close enough together.
Yeah, right.
The air is thinner up there. There is less weight that we can carry.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright.
You know, I mean, I'm a fat fuck. I get it.
No enlarging
Works.
beforehand.
I'll do it on the way down.
Ooh, yeah.
You want to be a big boy, Leon?
You puffer fish up as you fall. Just
Yeah.
doubles.
Just make yourself massive and just like smash a cart.
Yeah,
Like,
fucking just go like T-pose, just like donk into the earth.
Oh, dude! If you could somehow find a way to like do a spell that would like harden, so like an impact, the next impact would be lessened by a huge amount.
flesh to stone on me mid-fight, then when we get down the bottom, you just cast stone back to flesh, and then I'm fine.
Yeah, well, after you hit, you just like plow through a tower.
Yeah,
You
Oh, we wanna
become the
destroy those
artillery.
anyway.
Maybe
Yeah.
just like be your position
maybe
before
we
he
just
casts
aim
flash to stun.
maybe just aim
Exactly.
back at the most likely place where the leadership is, and you just smash. That.
I'm willing to give my life for it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Alright, but no,
Yeah.
yeah, we just... But well, yeah, I don't know, Leon. I'll think about it. I mean, I don't know. When we land, are we even going to be right in the middle of stuff? I guess not, right?
Yeah, we don't
Like,
really know where we're.
yeah,
Well, we're
I'll,
gonna have to navigate our way down.
Yeah, I'll save my magic anyway, so I'll see what happens.
Wait,
Yeah, that-
where are we aiming, by the way? Let's actually get that on map and on paper
Yeah, let's
before
get
we
an
like.
axe.
I'll be
Okay,
good. Yeah.
alright.
Yeah, where in the city are we wanting to land?
Yeah, so like that is broadly speaking, there's kind of you could target either being near like the main gate if you want to like try and open that from the inside, or any of like the three tiers. Specifically in terms of locations, again, there's like parts of the wall defenses. There's also like the interior gatehouse and stuff, and I mean there are leadership structures like major parts of the city and stuff. But like they've been described as like they're not really being used for those purposes right now, for defensive reasons. And yeah, again, a lot of what you would want to potentially what you would potentially reach in a city that was more open plan than this sort of fortress. A lot of that is kind of buried deep inside. There's like a limited number of things that you can just like sort of drop straight into. Really, mostly only the things that need to be exposed, like the outer defenses. As well as like the sort of interior courtyards and stuff.
I mean, well, then like if we land on the upper levels, right down at least, if they are going to try to mass force and like actually like take us, if they think they can do that, it's easier for us to defend ourselves if we're up high, right, than down low.
Yeah, and I think it's also easier to get down if we need to. We can go up.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe we start higher. Yeah.
Top to bottom.
You definitely should, yeah. I mean,
Right.
if we land somewhere high and their forces come to converge on us, either me or Broma can just kind of like circumvent them and get to the door and open the
Yeah, that's
front
true.
gates.
Yeah. You could almost want to lead them all the way from the main gate and then move quickly down there.
Indeed.
Play it by ear. Let's just aim for the right at the top,
Yeah, I think we're gonna reach a point where we have to spread out. I just want everybody to remember that we have been very successful in the past few days. The Dawn are starting to catch up, so they might have surprises for us, and we're not immortal. So
What is our
be on
strategy?
your guard.
I don't know.
Depends.
Or where are we like if we do get split up? Where are we meeting back up together?
That's a good question. To
Make at least I don't want to plan out everything because we, every plan falls at the first sign of the enemy. But like,
How about the main
We
gate?
should have-
That's nice and simple. Let's all go to the main gate if shit goes so.
okay. Well, let's actually
Well-
let's say we determine a section near the wall that's like, within, I don't know, a few hundred yards of the main gate. So it's not right on the main gate because I feel like that's going to be a fairly well defended
Yeah.
position.
I'm just thinking in the heat of battle is one place we'll all be pretty damn sure we know where it is.
Right. That's why I think it's the same thing. It's just like 200
Alright, how
yards
about-
to the
yeah,
west
How
of
To the
about
the
we
west?
say
Alright, sure.
Sure.
how about like the
Yeah.
second tower to the west?
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
job,
You
everyone.
guys identify a sensible position.
Yeah.
or something
Alright,
like
alright.
that, yeah.
The goal is to get there regardless.
Okay. And so yeah, you guys want to You just mount up across a pair of dragons. Asic in a pocket, Claudia in small cat form, and otherwise the 4 party members. Well, you can just fly yourself though, right, Moonsong?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was only us.
I'm not necessarily falling with them.
No, you're gonna be so slow though. If
I'm
you're not
necessarily. I mean, I'll be falling. As long as I don't want to land.
What kind of dragon fly slow
I mean,
enough?
Fly down.
with style for Moonsong.
Straight down.
Sure.
Maybe.
By the way,
Okay.
Ian, you were correct. I should have had legendary acrobatics.
Nice.
This went back through.
You can also.
Nice.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good.
So yeah, you guys fly a sort of tight formation, a pair of dragons with Moonsong flying in the middle, providing the aura to everyone. And yeah, they take you out on a long slow flight southeast at first, way out like behind the mountains, and then they like climb to a really extreme altitudes to the point where like even a huge dragon can be mistaken for like a bird, significantly closer just by someone glancing up from the ground. Where indeed you guys can sort of see like the frost crystals, sort of forming on your breath and everything. You just aren't yourselves afflicted by the cold and the lack of air and stuff as Moonsong's traveler's aura, makes you sort of comfortable in any environs. I think within reason. I think there's like some wording in there.
Can swim in lava.
Like Saturn. No, not
What?
so much.
The sun is fault.
Yeah, and then
Whoa, what are you looking at?
you guys fly. Get a wonderful view flying across a brief part of this mountain range before you come out, and you can see the layout of the city. Like genuinely a long way below. You can sort of like cover the whole city just holding your hand out, quite easily. The dragons experienced in locating and stuff, angle and bank, positioning themselves as just as above the city as they possibly can, and then they like sort of rock their backs to give you the signal that this is the time.
Do we want to I don't know, join ourselves together by anything to make sure we all end up in a similar place, or?
No time for that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I actually suggest I'll lead the way.
Yeah.
Alright, fine, well, let's see what happens.
Okay.
Well, good luck, everyone.
Don't forget, we can.
I'll try to, yeah.
Well, we have
You two
we
try to
have
be as
the,
close as possible to each other.
Danger
please.
we have the
zone.
mind magic again, right? So we can contact each other. Was that castle?
Who cast mind magic?
Before I was a member of the resistance who did on us. The one where we
Yeah,
did
probably. Is it?
You guys want that?
First
You guys want that for this morning? Yeah, okay. You guys can have that for this morning. That seems like a decent best.
So if we do get lost, we can contact each other.
Yeah, useful to have.
Alright.
then-
I'm puking, yeah.
You guys fall off. Okay. So yeah, 3 of you are falling. 1 of you is in a pocket. One of you is technically flying.
But you can't. I checked. There's this action called Arrest a Fool, where Tom can choose a fool, but then as you actually stop falling, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I think because in order to keep up with you guys, Moonsong does have to fall, or essentially dive.
Yeah.
And then arrest the fall later. So everyone.
If you fail that check, though, Tom, you just die. So don't fail that check on Arrest a Fool.
All 4.
I mean, I also have Catfall and Legendary in the back.
Oh, what? Why are you flying? What?
So all 4 skydivers. All 4 skydivers give me acrobatics checks, just to see how successfully you keep with each other.
We should have held hands, Leon. We should just held each other's hand.
It's like
that worked, yeah.
It's like one person can roll badly because then the other 3 can all just keep near them.
Classic skydiving. You join in a little circle,
Yeah. Look, I have 0 in acrobatics, by the way.
Yeah, so
I have
roll
0 in
and-
acrobatics too.
But the nat 20 back!
Man, I can get used to this.
Beck is like, whoa, I didn't know flying was so easy.
Meanwhile, Leon is literally just flipping over the just vomiting everywhere.
Leon's shield on his back is really fucking with his aerodynamics as he tries to free fall. It just like he's flipping him over like a
It's
turtle.
like an actual anchor.
Your question is whose bag was or whose pocket was Asik in? Leon's probably right, man. Not a fun ride, Asik.
Well, I do
It's
have,
going to be one of your two. It's probably not mine since I'm the one who's going to
Yeah,
attempt to land legendarily.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So actually, yeah, despite the assertion that you
yeah.
guys would drift apart, like you don't really have much control over where. Well, I mean, 3 of you can land more or less wherever you want. Leon, however, cannot so much. So, if you want to land as a group, you guys, the 3 of you, need to kind of follow Leon down and land sort of wherever he lands.
Yeah,
which
if
will
I see
be
him kind of losing
a more or less
control,
random location.
Well, I will
Yeah.
say I've kind of forgot about this, but the armor does give me like permanent wings as well. So maybe like once like I'm
yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
totally
close to the
right.
ground, I'm like
So
falling.
you can totally just arrest your
like,
fall and fly as well.
without
Oh,
any
okay.
control. Yeah, maybe I'll try.
But that's
Yeah,
the
okay.
fall is a DC 15 acrobatics check, so I'm kind of scared to do that. Or death is kind of
Yeah, no,
scary.
but first do like the leaf thing to like.
Oh,
actually
okay, and then
stop.
navigate a little bit
No,
more.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that makes
so
sense.
Leon is actually okay. So, yeah, you guys will have to sort of land somewhere in the because the dome of magic is quite low. Like you have to use the leaves quite late.
Yeah.
So like you'll have to land somewhere in like the general vicinity of wherever Leon was aiming.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, like fortuitously, he is kind of like, it looks like his initial jump at least was on target, and he is kind of like tumbling towards like the upper level of the city. So yeah, you guys all fall for a solid close to a minute.
What the Jesus Christ you are?
Yeah, man, you guys were high. You guys were like good like,
Oh
at least
my
10 or
God.
12,000 feet up
Yeah, that's
probably.
true.
Can we cast spells while we're falling?
You got time.
Wait,
I'll save him. I don't know what's gonna happen when we land.
And yeah, like you guys, guide yourselves in, following Leon's trajectory. Leon doesn't really have like a great sense of where the ground is because it keeps tumbling end over end. So he has to rely on everyone else for when to pull the chute. So yeah, like you guys just you guys, as soon as you who's pulling the thing, it's just you really, Beck, isn't it?
Yeah.
As soon as you like dip below the barrier, and all of you are magically sensitive enough to that you can
Yeah,
kind
we
of
can
see
see that,
like feel and see like a kind of a shit, like it's not like this far away from where the spellcasters really are. It's not such like an obvious shimmering field, but even here you can like occasionally see, just because there's like so many dozens and hundreds of spellcasters like on either side, like a spell failing or succeeding as it passes over the barrier, something like a scrying or like a message or or even whatever, or even like something more direct like a fireball or something cast from like someone up to the wall. It's like like those things fizzle visibly against the barrier, and just generally you guys are all magically attuned enough that you see it and sense when you have passed within it. Probably only really like a few hundred feet from the ground.
All right, Leo, now. I mean,
And,
like
yeah, you guys pull,
Yep.
and you find yourselves in essentially kind of like the furthest back area of the whole
nice.
on the upper level, up against like the area where it's against the mountain, kind of like honestly in the general vicinity of where the main like hall is, the sort of what you would guess to be the throne room in like a normal castle, although what king would sit here you don't know, but like the sort of the pinnacle chamber of the whole fortress.
Nice.
And so like you end up landing a kind of secluded corner of like the massive courtyard in the front. If there's a ministerial, it'd be where the sort of the white tree is, like they kind of like
imagining that too.
Some secluded corner of this. You can see like way off in the distance. This place is like 1,000, 2,000 feet across probably. way off in the far distance, like patrols of men and moving around. You can't make out at this distance whether they're Dawn or mercenaries, but no one seems to have noticed you landing here.
Do I pull off a superhero landing?
What a fucking rush! I just kind of, almost like land
Yeah.
basically next to me or whatever.
I mean, the
just
first one down was Bromok, right? Because
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I like
Straight
slow,
down.
I go down
Yeah.
and try to land next to her.
Can I just for flavor, just because I wanted?
Raining.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I just for flavor, have bounce I literally fall myself and kick myself off the wall of the tower to land on my feet down below.
You just there's like a scoopy bit of architecture that you just
just
slide
skate
down a bit and just tumble roll once you land on the ground, just come up at a jog and sort of stop
with
as
the bow and arrow ready.
as the others kind of Zelda leaf down around you,
Nice. Yeah, I'm like, what a fucking what a rush! Holy shit, that was so fun.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Normally only a fight gets your adrenaline pumping like that. Speaking of, I
didn't
kind of look
realize
around eagerly.
Sky was so big.
How far to our target?
one sickened rat climbs out of Leon's pocket.
You need to clean your pockets.
I'm sorry about that, buddy.
Oh no, no longer sickened one. He did all his retching in there.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to keep my feet when I'm on the ground.
Alright. What are we doing?
Alright,
Yeah, so
So,
what are you
third
guys... Yeah, what's your guys sort of main... What are you trying to target here? What are you trying to find your way to? There was talk of finding the mercenary captains earlier, but there was also potential to sabotage infrastructure targets and stuff inside. But narratively, what are you guys kind of trying to hunt down here?
I think first things... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I thought the first things first, we get out of sight, get a dark alley, dark alley, and then maybe spread out for now and try and figure out where these targets are that we want to. If there's anything on the third level we want to target, if there's anything near. Otherwise, we start heading down. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking something similar where we find a good hidden spot and then we spread out just a little bit, right, between alleys or something like that to try to fan out and then meet back together towards the gate to the third level. So we're trying to scout out and see if we can find the mercenary camps or other things like that.
If there are patrols going, to try to ambush one and question them from an alley.
True.
Yeah.
If they're mercenaries, if they're gone,
drag them into the alley and then there's a bang 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 noises and then you come out wearing their clothes.
Exactly. Yeah.
But not actually, because I need my armor, but yeah.
You're suddenly wearing a cloak of mercenary.
Kitty +1 armor. Oh god. Yeah, I think in general it's just kind of I mean, do we want to check out the throne room while we're so close? Maybe there's some shit. You can grab the phone, throw it off the edge of the fucking roof.
That's fair. We could do that.
Well,
I doubt the leaders will be there. I also don't think it'll be completely empty of importance.
I mean, some mercenary crews I remember were fucking cocky fucks. Wouldn't be surprised if one to the start of itself kind of what.
It would be really stupid to get ourselves caught looking for trinkets in a drum room though.
maybe one of us goes from.
Sure.
Want to go poke about, Brom?
Let's do it.
Okay. So the group of you are generally pretty well hidden right now in this sort of little corner that you found yourselves in. So, yeah, you guys tuck yourselves sort of well out of sight behind at the corner of a building while Bromok sneaks off to go and poke about and just investigate the main structure here.
Mm-hmm. I do my hood up cloak of elvenkind invisibility.
Sure.
When I'm within about 45 seconds of it.
yeah, makes sense. Sorry, what, David?
Do we have the mind link so
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's still active. Go ahead and GR me a stealth check, Bromok.
Okay. It's going to be this number here. Alright, so GR D20 plus 31.
Only 30 wealth. That's pretty actually high. And okay, yeah. So you slip around pretty deftly.
Oh,
Um,
I did GR it to you, but I did it in the way that I saw the roll. My bad.
yeah, no, that's okay. I think that macro broke. Like Roll20, like changed some shit.
Hey,
that
really?
doesn't
Oh.
work anymore. So, anyway, yeah, you slip in pretty deftly. And it does indeed actually seem like there wasn't a huge amount to be sneaking from. The most of it seems very empty. In fact, it almost looks like it was sort of abandoned. Suddenly, not like papers were dropped and people sort of literally just ran. But there is still like it hasn't been tidied up. It just looks like people left this place in a pretty decent hurry at some point in the last sort of week or so, and haven't sort of come back to pick up what they were doing yet.
Mhm.
There's definitely like desks with like just piles of paperwork and open books and like the occasional mug or whatever is just sitting around, but you don't really see anyone present until you hear voices echoing from like a chamber way up at a tall flight of stairs up like a tower, and you kind of poke about up there very, very sneakily to see what's going on, and you find a pair of sentries that are sort of keeping eye from a room that must be one of the sort of highest points of the whole city. That are clearly on some kind of shift. They've got a bit of a like a hot plate going, and they're sort of playing a round of cards and occasionally looking out the window. They're mercenaries, by the way. They're not Dawn.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They don't notice your presence at all. And yeah, I assume you sort of slip
How many
away.
are there?
A pair of them.
What does their gear look like?
Yeah, you've got a sort of accomplished eye, so you run it over their equipment. It's nothing particularly like fancy. It's the sort of thing you've hauled back in the harvest by the dozen load. We're talking sort of like +1 striking, +1 resilient, armor sort of deal. Nothing really above like level 8 or 10 or whatever.
Sure. Okay. Brahma debates if he should just remove them. But instead he decides, okay, we'll give him a chance, and so he just goes back to report to them. Like he said, like as he's going back down where there's paperwork, he tries to look at if any of the paperwork looks like it has any important information on it.
Not of massive relevance to you. I mean, important to someone, but it looks like this was like one of the sort of it was like part of the sort of seat of governance of the city up until recently. Presumably, the martial law situation that was described as like has changed the way everything's running, and now it's a sort of this big, decentralized process, of groups, leadership moving around and stuff. And
who was in charge of this place before? Was it a member of the Dawn?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So there's not like some potentially innocent leader of this area who we could convince it'd be more your fault either way.
No, not since the Dawn took charge.
Alrighty. Knowing that there's only the two, Brahmak debates setting the place on fire. Decides against it again and goes back to this to report to the party. I can always go back and set it on fire later.
Always sets a whole fire.
Yeah. Well, why did you set on fire now?
Didn't want to that wasn't the original plan.
Yeah, no, actually, doesn't really make.
But I think it could be a decently good diversion to allow us to get elsewhere if we need it.
Well, so far, yeah, it seems like we're
unnoticed.
Yeah, there was a total of 2 mercenaries in the tower. I don't think there's a lot of important infrastructure up here.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, like looking around, like this open area is like the size of at least 4 of your sports field of choice. Sort of arranged in it's like a huge area here, but probably honestly closer to like 9 or 3x3. It's really big. You can see sort of in like the far distance, just kind of highlighted against the light sky, like a group of 3 on patrol, like against a far wall, hundreds or thousands, like thousands of feet away, and like maybe another one to like patrolling up like steadily in your kind of like general direction, but still not really in danger of spotting you in your position anytime soon. Like it looks like this part, specifically this like highest level courtyard, is like it's used for sentry duty and like just generally patrolled by like the kind of the sort of the martial, the mercenaries enforcing martial law and kind of like patrolling the streets and keeping the city under guard at the moment. But otherwise, there's not a huge amount going on up here.
I mean, the two up there, I know at least, I guess, they might know where like the mercenary captains are if we want to try to have a chat with them, right?
Yeah.
We could ask them some questions, figure out what
Yeah,
is
they're
going
all
on in the city.
I think that might be a good call.
Good.
You get some information on what the current layout is like.
Yeah.
Or any other faces you saw, Brom, or literally just those 2 guys?
Just the 2.
I mean, that's such a nice opportunity, like they're
It
waiting there
is.
for someone to pass you in and torture them for information.
Let's walk in then.
Get information out of them.
Yeah.
Diplomacy,
yeah,
the information out of
I'll
them.
pretend I don't
Enhanced interrogation, the information out of them.
Sorry, advanced interrogation. You're right.
But if all else, there's good cop, bad cop. It's fine.
Exactly.
I had cop worse cop.
That is even a worse one because we're basically good terrorists bad.
Right, I'm gonna grab a snack real quick before I have to roleplay being tortured. Be right back.
Alright.
That's
What do you mean? They're not going to give us the information? Dog is fuckers. As long as we don't roll any more dice today, then I only roll nat 20s in the session. That'll be
There's a small possibility.
huge possibility.
I would say fairly unlikely.
What? So far, 19 to 320. Pretty solid.
You're gonna have to trust my ability to convince people, which is always bad.
I have a lot of faith. You have like plus 100 diplomacy. How could you fail?
I mean, the stat is there, it's true.
Mm-hmm. That's what matters. That's what matters.
I mean, what could go wrong?
Your choice.
Remember, since we last played it, did you move, Jacko?
Yes. Well, since we last played this. Well, I'd already moved back in last week.
Right.
Yeah. But now everything's pretty much finalized. So
Nice.
I'm all good.
And then Chris has
Actually-
obviously moved into a new place. Was Ian moving
Yeah.
as well?
He's bought a
Bought a
place.
house.
So I'm assuming he's gonna move quick.
That's right.
It hasn't moved yet.
Yeah. I just remember being like, everyone was getting engaged and moving.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
seemed to be the thing to do.
Interesting how
It's yeah, something to do apparently.
I got this for my birthday.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
mirrored, but it says Dungeon Master with my name
Fuck
on it. It's
mirrored.
fucking sick. Look at this.
So it's false advertising. Got it.
Well, I mean, I am Dungeon Mastering. I'm
Oh, that's true. You're doing the
Where'd you
one.
get this from?
Etsy, I think. Yeah, I came from Ukraine actually, so it took a while to get here.
Oh.
Sorry,
Supporting
what?
the troops,
That's
you know?
cool.
What came from Ukraine?
This
His
mug right here.
Dungeon Master mug.
Oh, okay.
It says my name on it and everything. That's right.
Oof.
And not nerdy at all.
No. Man. I lifted this.
Speaking of nerdy, I went to a Renaissance fair today.
What? They exist? I thought it was only in movies.
They exist apparently. It's called
They do
Elf
not
Fair.
exist. Renaissance. Yeah, where was it? Just in your like
Sure,
nearby?
Like half an hour, like 45-minute drive.
Oh, fuck.
I think
But
my
it
American
was
ignorance is showing because I
boring
really thought that was
entirely.
much more of like an American thing. Like we wanted to remember what it was
I
like
also
back in
thought
ancient
it
Europe.
was.
Well, it's not actually a Renaissance fair. It's like fantasy themed with
Oh,
you know
even
medieval.
nerdier.
Did you like
plans.
go as anything? Did you have to?
No,
Dressed up, Jacko.
No,
What?
you
it
didn't.
was like 50% of the people were like dressed. I think so pretty high, a
Dude,
little higher
I
than
went-
Gamescom, for example.
I went to I went down to the countryside a couple of months ago with my mum for like a weekend, and it was a castle, local castle. It was like the most interesting thing to see, probably for 100 miles in any direction. So
Mm.
we went there, and you see all the things. To be fair, it was a pretty cool castle, you know, like rated high overall. But like there was one bit where they had like a little medieval fair thing going on in the village with like people showing you the rope making and the whatever was like, you know, the day in the life, including there was like a field with a bunch of people. Like one group of people, like probably 10, like dressed up in like plate armor at one end with shields, and like one group of people, like 10, with like bows and arrows at the other end with like sticky cups on the end, and like they had to like march down the field towards them while like the guys were like
God.
shooting arrows at them to show. And it was like, I was like, man, these people are having the time of their life. I wish I was one of these people right now. This is like, so much fun. Like, it looks like a really good time.
Yeah.
I wish my job was like wear armor and either be shot at or like shoot. And like, but they were doing the whole like knock, draw, loose thing, and I was like, this is fucking Game of Thrones made that up. That didn't actually happen, but like whatever. You guys enjoyed it.
But who won though? The archers or the shield boys?
I don't know how you define who. No, you just they end up with like
Which one
sticky arrows all
died?
over them. Like,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
They died.
They probably lost. Yeah.
I think it was mostly for the fun of just like charging towards some archers. Like, okay. So, you guys want to go collectively into
Have a little chat with these guys.
the building, climb to the highest room of the tallest tower, find Princess Fiona, and by Princess Fiona I mean this pair of mercenaries.
Close enough.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, from what you saw, Brommer, you will all fit in there. It'll be pretty tight with like the entire party plus the pair of them, but it's not like a huge room.
Just the way I like it.
It's kind of like a watch.
we don't
like a
want.
watch
We don't want
post.
them to feel like they have too much space.
Yeah, Leon casts
Right up in their
Leon's
face.
When I
tiny
get in there,
interrogation room, and
when I get there, I cast a large me on Leon, so there's even less space. So we squash him into the club.
Or just like a balloon it.
yeah, I mean, if all else, I'll be downstairs and like watching. I don't think we need the whole party to be able to interrogate or overwhelm them.
Nah, okay. You know, I'll
Yeah,
just
I could
fun,
have-
you know.
I could put up a mean face, but we need some more brains in there as well.
I'll put a mean face. Come on, Leon. You say you can do a mean face? Come on.
I've been practicing. Hey, don't you see my disapproving looks? There's
Yeah,
like a right to the
you can
core.
disapproving face and a mean face, you know. I mean,
Oh,
really,
sure. It's different sides of the same coin. Anyways,
they?
either Brom or Moonsong or Asik come up. But yeah.
Hey,
Come with.
anyone else apart from me? That's it, Leon.
Come on,
Anyone
man.
in the party, you know, maybe ask or move so far. Yeah, fucking right there, Leon.
Well, I'm including myself with you. We're
Oh,
not
sorry.
educated folk. That's just the
That's
way
like
it is.
7, man.
Yeah, but
I'm
have
11.
you seen the way he works that machine? Like,
Yeah.
he's
really
gifted.
good machines. Yeah.
Okay, maybe not Asik. He doesn't really know what's happening above
You want to
ground.
feed them into the machine?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
yeah.
Go
Okay,
fuck with
Asik,
them.
Asik, you say, but
Alright, fine.
proper Moonsong, please.
Right, we can all fit in. Let's just all go. together.
Sure, I'll go. I just
Well,
figured
we just-
if it is going to be tight, we can have at least one person on lookout.
Yeah.
Yeah, Claudia will be on lookout.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Alright.
Figured the tigers are
Um,
a pretty good threat, though, but that's fair.
No.
Or she definitely won't fit in there.
hmm
Alright,
Alright, so I'll be there. Ready to pin their knees to walls.
Okay, so we go up there fast. We go up there, you know, intimidating. Like, we don't mind cutting them down. But we don't actually do that, okay?
I mean, I
Oh,
definitely
okay.
debated it when I was first here, so yeah.
That's fair. But we don't have to do that yet, at least. Until they show their
Right.
No,
colors.
By the way,
Yeah.
I hunt prey both of them mentally, knowing where they were and are.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, if we do decide to kill him, then at least we,
Sure.
I mean, obviously, they're not much of an act to say, we're blessing and we could kill him. Like, that's not really an act.
Yeah,
right?
but well, put the mean face on the outside, which is not a problem.
Oh yeah, normally it's only on my inside. I'm like a floppy
Exactly.
belly on the outside.
Yeah, you're a little better. Okay, let's go.
You look good.
I'll sneak
Yeah,
up
so we
probably
hustle
a
up the
little
stairs,
bit
I
in
guess.
front.
So let's walk up. Honestly, okay. How's the sentry
Hey.
duty going?
Yeah, I get. Did I see anything there that seemed to be a way for them to do a quick signal to other people on the third, area?
Didn't see anything immediately, but it wouldn't
Surprised me if there was something.
Yeah,
Sentries
it'd be
will
kind of
definitely
like-
yeah.
yeah. They probably have somewhat again says it'd be them, even if it's not for help someone's parachute in attacks in the tower. Like if they see something, they generally want a way of letting people know faster than running down the stairs.
Right.
But so let's not walk in casually. Let's get in there fast.
Yeah.
and
We
scream.
want to come in hard and fast to here. So.
Alright, fucking
Put them
charge
against the
down,
wall. Go in raw. Let's go.
Sure. Alright.
I mean, I do suggest letting me sneak up, and I can have some eyes on him.
Oh yeah, be my guess.
That's fair. Yeah. Faster, anyways.
Yeah.
Alright,
And then
so
I've
look,
got
LeBron.
trained shots ready for him as I wait for the party to start.
Just for you to
running up.
give probably.
And I'm just there to basically be like, if I see them going towards anything, if I think they're ready to kind of, start some form of signal or something like that, I'm gonna take some shots.
What? Yeah, I
So
guess
you go up first and get
Mhm.
ready, and
Yeah.
then
we give him a couple minutes and head up.
Minutes.
I mean, it's not long.
It's-
Yeah, you want to
Come-
be sure, but what's anyway.
also Beck and Leon want to run up the stairs.
Yeah.
I think so.
What are
yeah.
Moonsong and Attic doing in all this?
Just bring up the rear. Yeah.
Yeah, you come with, yeah.
Sure.
So I'm just
Like just
flies
one
up.
corner behind you while Beck is hitting
Okay.
people or whatever.
Did you try that? He's right there. I point at Asic, hiding on the
Yeah.
corner. Look at him.
Cool. You're still plenty stealthy from before, Bromok. So you take up position in the room, and then, like a minute later, you hear the sound of Beck and Leon, fully armored, sprinting their way
I
up
don't
the.
wear armor. What are you talking about?
That's true. But sounds like he's fully armored anyway. Running up the stairs. Who's just that unstealthy.
Hey.
They're
I'm chained.
he's trained. They're both extremely both immediately puzzled. Like as soon as they hear the sound of someone sprinting up the stairs, they kind of look to each other, in kind of puzzlement, and then one of them calls out, "Hello, is something wrong?" Like no, it doesn't seem to occur to either of them for a second that this is there's a hostile someone. They just
Yeah.
think that
long
some
are these stairs
guards or
away?
whatever are not very far. You'll be up there in a few seconds.
Okay.
You sort of sprint. I mean, you guys are both pretty athletic, so it's probably 2 turns worth of running. They kind of they sort of look to each other, but before they can really take much more action than that, Beck and Leon are coming around the top corner. At which point they both sort of start and go, sort of wait, who the hell are you? And they kind of go for their weapons, but in terms of actual initiative, which we won't bother rolling because they're solo level, but you guys would act way before them, so feel free to dictate how whatever goes down.
Narratively now, while I'm standing as a big guy, I'll just usually focus, I've got this fuck off giant sword in my hands and huge black plate armor covering me. That I just nod to Leon.
Okay.
Can I
Yeah,
do the Legolas type bullshit move of they reach their sword and literally shoot an arrow and knock the sword out of the way?
Yeah, they going for their weapons. You shoot, and they see the group of you all appear, and one of them seems to still be going for his weapon, and the other one seems a little kind of quicker on the uptake. One of them kind of goes, "Oh shit." And and so he nudges the other as he's kind of scrambling for his weapon and kind of he nods towards like Beck's sword, like there's like the 2 meter long like
Bigger than
thing.
himself.
Permanently dyed in blood.
Their eyes kind of like move from that to like to Leon's like perfectly like mirror finished golden shield, and then like at that point the second one seems to kind of get it as well. Oh fuck. And they're just kind of like you get the sense that they've realized who they're confronted with here. None of them really seems to have anything to say immediately.
Well, I suppose word of us has gotten out. Doesn't mean we're enemies necessarily. In fact, we could come out of this as friends. Please take a seat.
Make a diplomacy check.
Oh baby, let's see Leon flex.
First time. Ooh, baby.
Oh.
Yeah, they both sit down.
Take a seat right over there.
I take a seat.
And well, obviously they both just kind of like sit down on the spot.
Right. So we'd heard of you boys having come to this beautiful city in order to defend it, which is an honorable task, of course. But you also know who you're defending it from, then.
Kind of look at each other. Rebels
I see.
who want to overthrow the government.
A government that you enjoy, that you're a fan of.
They kind of look between each other and say, "Well, they're paying us."
Better than toys.
They are paying you. You're part of a larger mercenary group, right? Could you perhaps tell us who your leader is in this whole operation?
They kind of look to each other, and this time the other one speaks and says, "Hi. I don't know if we should tell you that. That sounds like treason."
I mean, it is to the current government. But you look like young boys. You probably don't know this, but once upon a time, Atlas was a rightful and righteous place. Then it was invaded by literal devils. Current government is set up by those devils. So when you're saying you don't want to commit treason against it, that just doesn't sit right with me.
It was a lawless place, though. There was all sorts of wildness, and we heard it was horrible.
Interesting.
Have
you guys heard of these history lessons?
No, who'd you hear that from? Who told
It's
you
definitely a
about
little bit of
it?
revisionist history. Again, I think, to your point, it was not a perfect place. The freedom given to people enables people to make bad decisions, right? Enough to hang themselves with often. So yeah, was it perfect? No. Was there less law in terms of not every punishment was the death penalty? Yeah. But in the end, you had much more individual freedom to choose what you wanted to do, carry what you wanted to carry, be who you wanted to be. Far more than you have now.
I mean, I kind of look at you know what like devils are, right? As well, like in hell and everything. Like you guys still think that's bad, right? Like they don't tell kids now when they're born, oh yeah, hell's great, heaven's shit.
Yeah, like surely you didn't sign those contracts for a reason. You were
Yeah,
smart
if you
enough
saw
for
that-
that at least.
Well, no, we don't want to be like Dawn. I mean, yeah, sure. Like that's actually like binding your soul to the devils.
Oh yeah, you're working.
I know what you
for those
mean.
guys, though.
So you can
But,
at least
well,
see what we're
Yeah,
coming from,
they
that-
said that like
You
I
think
mean,
that-
sure, but we're not arresting people or executing civilians, or we're just protecting against. Well, I mean,
You're
you
aiding
guys.
the people who are doing that.
Well,
And again,
against a rebellion. You want to overthrow the government and sow chaos.
But that's what they did.
But they created order.
I've got
order
a.
before.
Okay, wait,
What's that?
guys.
What we have now is something you would call tyranny.
Okay, I think it's time for Moonsong to weigh in with a diplomacy check here. Leon's been diplomacying a lot. A lot of people have been talking. Let's see what Moonsong's got. It's pretty diplomatic. These guys are pretty low-willed ECs, you know. It's Okay, so yeah, they Well, look. Okay, if you just want to talk, then I suppose you can go and try and persuade Captain Malik of all this. That's Kamran Malik. He's the commander of our segment. You can he's nearby. He's stationed in the basement of an inn here in the top tier, around the corner. The Golden Rooster.
You still get drinks?
How honest are they being? Or do I think they're being? I guess.
Nope.
And
Well, they should do
I
that
actually
live.
have a button for this.
Mm-hmm.
But they would be doing a lie check.
Sneaky. Oh man, this button's kind of old. Ava is on
Well,
this
we
button.
can also sense motive from your side.
Okay, but I can look at what Bromok's natural dice was and intuit. Yeah, they seem pretty honest to you, Bromok.
Mhm.
I mean, really, they would have to make the lie action, but they weren't
Right.
so specifically lie. But yeah, but
Yeah.
you're just trying to sense general dishonesty.
How old do these kids look?
34, 55.
You young whippersnappers.
Less children. Okay.
Mid-20s. Yeah.
Mid-20. Okay, I mean, still technically older than Bromok.
But you can't know.
Yeah, but you're indoctrinating it, and in the right way.
Yeah, you're trying.
That's one way to describe it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I said
A lot older than ASIC.
But like, alright, we're going to be kind of. But you actually saying that like it's good to the fucking world around by goddamn devils.
Wait, back. I think this is all a lot to take in for these guys. I mean, think of it from their perspective. They just got a nice job.
But,
You know,
like,
everything's.
Come
But
on,
surely,
Leo.
no, I know. All I
I
wanted to do right now is to think this over, think about what they're doing in regards to, you know, this city and society, and then maybe see if things could be better.
Alright. All I'm saying is like there's a reason why on our fucking good side we got these like fucking flew in on back of a goddamn silver dragon, right? It's because like if you're a lot of fucking idiot, you see all the fucking good creatures are with us and all the fucking devils are on you guys' fucking side.
It's a strong argument.
You
I
realize they're the
won't lie.
fucking bad ones.
Make an
again.
intimidation check back.
Okay, I'm not that too. Monka, I'm only trained, Monka.
You're not really doing it deliberately, but you're ranting.
Yeah, I'm ranting a bit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that
Alright, let's go to a fucking inn. Like what? Are we gonna tie them up, or are they gonna be quiet? What's gonna happen?
Well, okay, I'll take a second. They sit down. I'll kneel beside them and say, "Look, the thing I want you to get away from this is that we'd rather do this without violence if we could, which we can't. But if we, in situations where we can prevent it, we will. So I'd rather keep you boys alive and well. All right. So are you gonna be good about this?
That's not them. They don't go They.
Maybe.
Yeah, give me another diplomacy, Leon. But do this one GR.
No,
Because like their outcome here might be
not obvious. Then you should
Yeah.
do it for me.
not obvious. Yeah, but I trust Jacko.
You
Jacko.
don't trust the rest of us?
Well, no. I mean, I trust you guys mostly. That's why I let you guys just GR this shit. Also, because I'm lazy.
But he's busy.
Getting that food on.
Get that too long.
All right, sorry. Yeah. Did I want to add anything? Nah, it's.
Yeah, they kind of nod and say, "Well, okay, I suppose if You're just going to talk to the captain. If that conversation turns violent, I suspect we'll probably hear about that soon anyway, and then it won't matter that we didn't let anyone know. So, all right, go have your chat. They both seem like extremely nervous,
Thank you for your understanding.
but honest at least.
I am fine. Stand up, walk away, please. But we're just gonna. Hey, what if, as I'm walking out with Leon, it's like, you work. Alright.
See,
Well,
but that's
trust
what
them
I'm
enough.
saying. That's how hard it can be to convince people of, like, changing their entire worldview of like.
But it don't make sense, man. Like, what? I mean,
If you're raised your entire life being told that things are better,
why would they raise like that? What the fuck were their parents doing?
probably dead.
Well,
trying
and
to
the fact
keep
that
each
parents
other
died in the
alive.
invasion didn't sour them to the whole idea behind it.
It depends on how it was sold to them, how they learned what happened, right? Like, there's so many variables that we can't
I mean,
understand.
they're not young. They would have been fucking, what, 10 when they started?
We can't fault the weak and insecure.
No, I
for
can
our
fucking.
faults.
Don't tell me what I do. I'll fault the week all I goddamn want.
What?
We shouldn't, at least.
Sure.
They're trying to keep their
whatever.
loved ones safe. That's all.
Yeah.
You can understand that.
While by the way, the interrogation really is more like basic questions, right? There's nothing too bad. Was I able to kind of locate maybe how they would signal? I'd like to be somewhat kind of searching the room, or
Yeah, they had packs of flares,
okay,
like labeled with like caps of different colors.
Gotcha.
Like not labeled for like what the warning is. They're like labeled like with code numbers. Like O1 is like green, O2 is blue, but like
sure.
presume there's a logbook or like some training manual somewhere which lists what like the different meanings of the flares would have been.
Yeah, I said not that I don't trust you boys, but I'll be taking these.
You just maybe you just like go like you just like take the tip of your like knife and do like one like and just like sweep and like just like you cut
I'm
the
actually
bottoms
thinking
off
of
them and like
taking
the
them.
gunpowder pulls out. Oh, you want to take them for yourself? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because
you load
all
up
else
on them.
fails, to sow chaos by like just launching them across. Like launch one in one area green, and they do blue in another area.
Launch, yeah, green that way, blue that way, and someone's like trying to translate. They're like, elephant in the lake. What? What is going on?
Or just like throughout the city, just do different ones all over the place via dimension doors.
Sure.
So absolute
But,
chaos.
yeah. No, they don't stop you from taking. They don't really feel like they can. But they don't attempt you to stop yourself from taking, or attempt to stop them from taking the things. Yeah, so you guys slip back down the stairwell, and you want to head to the Golden Rooster, as they described.
Go to the Golden Cock. Let's go.
Yeah, as we walk in, and I'm like, we're just gonna, just walk down the stairs. I guess it'll be full of like off-duty mercs, right?
I'm imagining so. We should give everyone not involved a chance to get out, but then things might get spicy.
Alright, sounds good.
Yeah, so I guess we just go.
It's like, put on the door, oh, baby. A bit.
I think I was going to try to sneak ahead a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, do what you want. Man, I haven't had a beer pulled from a tap for a long time. Oh, baby. Doesn't get a real tap.
Okay.
Nothing on draft. And
You have a bottomless stein.
yeah, but it's not the same. It doesn't come from a keg. It's not being, poured from a tap.
I'll invent you something.
Yeah, make a kegging machine. I always imagine it just tastes a little not, like not the same.
Okay.
I need a dirty glass from the bar.
Yeah, it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty, but also like deeply like clean. It's just the cloth was dirty, like.
Exactly. Added flavor. I like seeing all the hundreds and thousands of previous beer and spit that's in it. Is really nice.
It's enhancing the flavor.
Exactly. You can't clean wooden mugs like glass.
Okay. So yeah, like there's actually not a huge number of people really moving about, like this high up in the city. It looks like this area has been largely sort of is largely uninhabited. The civilians that have been evacuated into the city must have mostly been housed in the lower tiers and kind of like deep accommodation within the safe confines of the city wall. So yeah, you guys managed to collectively make your way down a sort of a really broad sort of flight of stairs, wide enough that you could have probably ridden like a load of horses abreast up in one go. It's like a super wide colonnade of like 30 or 40 steps down to like the sort of half a tier to like the actual ground level of the top tier, as opposed to the sort of raised bit that you were on.
I thought they always made like ramps for horses.
Yeah, I don't know if you could get like horses up the stairs. You might struggle.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's
Depends
fucking
on how-
wide. These are super wide. And move around the corner towards in the direction of the inn as it was described, dodging out of sight of the occasional patrol, but otherwise not really troubled in your movement through the city. At this level, like it's just kind of hard to roll terribly on stealth and stuff, and they're not like hugely high level people around. Bromok, you move ahead first and scout out. It looks like the actual bar room of the inn. It doesn't seem like there's anyone. Like it's either not open or it's been, appropriated by the mercenary company for use. But no one seems to be like actually employed or serving behind the bar. There just seems to be like a sort of trio of mercenaries sitting around, or one of them sort of just like leaning up against the bar. It's like on his like back, the small of his back pressed against it, kind of cleaning his nails with a knife, as mercenaries do. But yeah, a trio of types sort of sitting around, and give me a stealth check as you sort of go in and check them out.
Want me to GR it again?
Yeah, please. Yeah. These ones are a little better equipped. I think more on the sort of +2 striking. Maybe not greater striking though. Maybe greater striking's a bit much. +2, definitely not greater resilient. That's really high level.
Yeah, that's crazy. We only just got that.
But like a bit better equipped than the chumps you saw at the tower.
I kind
Chumps plus. Okay.
And you do indeed see like a flight of stairs going down like behind the bar, leading to a basement through like an open trapdoor hatch.
Yeah. How close are the 3 mercenaries to the hatch?
The one leaning against the bar is probably 15 feet away.
Okay. Yeah, I go and report that back to the party. Say slightly better equipped, 3 of them right now. There is the open hatch, so we could be dealing with I don't know how many within that.
I mean, that's alright. I don't think we'll worry about that.
Yeah, I just hope the guy in charge is in. Otherwise, we're gonna have to wait there.
You see wars on tap?
I didn't look. I'm sorry.
Well,
Next time.
I think considering it's all gonna come down to our little conversation with the captain.
Yeah.
We don't mince words. We get rid of their weapons or else.
it's me
I can
and
try to
Dad.
sneak around to a better position. We time it right. We go in there very quick. Get them to remove their weapons. If we want to try diplomacy with their captain, we can't be killing his men. So that needs
Yeah.
to be the last option.
If it comes to a brawl, don't kill.
Yeah. So Beck, flat of the blade.
I don't know, blade. I don't know I could do that. What? Bludgeoning damage for free? What the fucking busted? Versatile and bludgeoning damage.
So big though, surely.
Yeah.
Back some
That or
wall.
butt, right? The pommel.
I'll go for the non-leaf. I'll go for the, like, limbs you can live without. Don't worry about it.
No maiming. Off
Yeah,
table.
please.
One of
That's
us
another
should
one
go-
that it just. I think it puts us in a poor light for a conversation like that.
Alright, fine.
One of us should go straight for the basement door.
Yeah,
I'll
there might be another way out
Yeah.
right down there, even. Be
I'll do
crazy
that.
for them to hide in like an actual hole in the ground.
Well, also, if you're in small rat form, could you maybe skedaddle over there?
I guess I could.
Don't be seen though. I don't know. Some people, when they see a rat running around, they're also not going to be knives with the knife.
Well, worst case,
You have the
Go
same
back into
HP when
your-
you're in rat form.
Oh no, do I?
Yes.
I would assume so.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
don't remember. It's just another right? Rat form.
It works like pest
Fast
form.
form. Which means you probably just get knocked out if you.
No, I think you still keep the same HP and everything.
What's the best form?
You get weakness 5 to physical damage, Monka. AC 15 plus level. Okay.
Wait, is that more than I have now?
No way. Your AC right now, it's got to be higher than 32. Come on.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, wait. I guess we should check out what's actually going on in the basement before we do anything up top, right? Like, if they have a way out down there, they'll just immediately leave as soon as they hear any sort of.
Yeah, are any of the windows open, doors open any way that I could
I mean, the trapdoor to the basement was to get in the first place.
into that room?
Like the front door didn't like look locked or anything. So to get in, you would just have to like very quietly open it and slip in invisibly while no one was like looking in the direction of it.
Is it a one-story building with a basement, or there's there multiple stories?
There's a second story as well.
Any of the windows on the second story open?
Yeah, sure. There's like a couple that just like were left open by like the last guests or whatever before martial law was enforced that nobody has sort of had the presence of mind to go and close yet.
Crazy guys.
Sure. So I suggest that Asik and I can go in the window, right? He can be in pocket rat form.
Yeah, sure.
We can sneak down and check out what's in there. Give us a minute.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we wouldn't wait for you to get back here, right?
Pocket rat, I
Whoa.
love it. It's like it's a raster. It's like
If you're not back in a couple minutes, sure, we'll go in.
Rat, I choose you. Throw the rat.
We also do have a mental.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, send us a message. Yeah, to keep us up to date. What's happening?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, I can do that.
Oh, that's amazing. Somebody need to do this shit.
Yeah, but if you haven't heard from us within a minute and 30 seconds, coming hot.
Yeah, sure.
Both blazing.
Yeah, and then I can quickly wall jump or anything to get to the second story window. And
yeah. You climb up pretty deftly and easily. Just
Hood
do
up again.
do another stealth check just for like
Okay.
the old no one on the ground floor hears anything weird like happen outside. Yeah, perfectly. You don't even hear it from inside his pocket, Asik. It's swift and it's deft.
I
You just,
choose not to be
feel
heard.
Feel the swinging. And yeah, next thing you're standing in like an upstairs bedroom. You like you creep along, slipping out through the door very, very stealthily. I assume you're invisible, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And descend down to the ground floor. Now you're in the room with the three you saw through the windows earlier. None of them notice your presence. You just make your way straight for the trapdoor behind the bar.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you sort of pick your way nimbly over the bar rather than sort of like walk the long way around and drop down. You carefully use like the wall timbers and supports rather than putting any of your weight on what looks like a really creaky flight of stairs going down to the down to the lowest level. And yeah, like down here you're in a very small room with only one more door that it leads anywhere. It's like a sort of like a 10 by 15 room with a door.
Okay. Doors closed, I'm assuming then?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I just report back and say we're in. Only one door currently closed. Looks like it's a small 10 by 15 room. I try to listen closely at the door to see if I can hear any movement or anything from the other side.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Jared as well?
Yeah, sure.
I kind of said back, wait, but there could be an exit to that room, right, on the other side.
Potentially, yes. Oops. Just read another regular damn D20, my bad.
Go and GR it then, you fool.
Could be all obvious.
I'm sorry! GR
Yes,
D20
give
plus
it.
30.
Yeah, you hear like a kind of a low frequency humming that you don't really identify.
Radio interference.
Thing.
It seems to kind of get louder and then fade away.
Okay. Can I use Arcane Sense to do third level what is detect magic?
Would that break invis? I can't remember what breaks invis in 2E.
Hostile actions.
So no, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's got a verbal component when you use it like this.
It says your study of magic. I'll just fucking click it right. Once you instinctively sense its presence, you can cast at will as an innate, arcane innate, and if you're a master, then it's third level
I think
innate.
Spells still have all the same traits as a normal spell.
Okay, let me try to look up if that has it then. Don't think I have it listed on here. Detect magic. Let's go look it up. Oh,
Only that's verbal, right?
You
think so.
Since in Magic Zone, you can place any material with somatic, but verbal does not get in place. Yeah, so it would be verbal.
Okay, yeah.
It still is verbal, if it still is. I don't know. I'm sure Tom would detect magic, you did click right. But I'm pretty sure it's verbal.
Damn, detect
Like
magic.
magic, somatic
True.
verbal, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, damn. Maybe not then. Because I wouldn't want to give myself away. So I
just
say,
whisper.
just mentally get back to the party. There's some kind of weird, almost like humming, coming from within the room.
Like bees?
More mechanical.
Whoa.
Something that shouldn't be there in the cellar of an inn, that's for sure.
Potentially, yeah.
Maybe they made fridges. Just the fridges, like, the coils whining.
It's like a walk-in fridge, yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Look, let me, Leonis, let you get in here. Let's get this done.
Yeah. So I go back up
You guys got
just to
like,
the.
police.
Yep.
All right.
I put pocket rat on the bar.
then you scream, there's a rat, and everyone stares and looks.
Hey,
Right, I just like.
I'm so confused. Where did you put me?
I just put you on the floor next to me.
In the main room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I just like look to the open door and I'm like, alright, Leon, you lead it away.
Yeah.
And so I start to count us down like 3, 2.
Oh shit!
1.
No.
Yeah.
We just sort of push open the door.
Once everyone's in position, right? Like we try to act it pretty quickly.
And a little flare on the medic as I walk through the door. I want to like activate the black wings on the armor. You know, as
Black.
He's evil. Get him.
Are we the bad guys?
Are we the baddies?
Like, oh yes, Dawn come out. They're on our side. Wait, hang on.
As long as it's a bad guy, then we're all bad guy.
So what, you guys want to bust in and like knock them all out, or bust in and talk talk with them, or
No, yeah. As I do that, I'm just like, I'll look at the group, and I'll be like, if you value your life, don't move a muscle.
give me an intimidation check.
Yeah, that's us heading off to verbal diplomacy.
Oh shit! Okay.
Giardos
It's
doesn't count.
a secret.
Yeah,
man.
that's-
Like, I don't know
yeah,
a lot of
well,
lands.
No. I think in this case, you got a 50. You got a big boy intimidation.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't need to like role play this, but like yeah, they don't contest. You can like they'll just drop their weapons and put their hands in the air and like don't contest you going downstairs to speak with their captain.
Yeah, let me just.
Do I see any of the flare things here as well?
Not immediately on these guys, no.
Okay.
Like,
But
it doesn't
do
seem
we-
like these guys
As we like kind of
yeah.
walk into like one of us stay up here to keep an eye on these three, or
Yeah. Anyone volunteering?
look, go back and Claudia can handle it. Tell her to eat them if they move too far.
He is quite hungry today. Claudia posts up at the front door. Make sure they're nice.
Make sure they taste nice. Got it.
I was going to say, we should
I mean, if all else, we could have ASIC right
Make
there
sure.
to like with the flesh melting bombs he makes.
Make sure they're nicely seasoned.
Exactly. That's what she heard.
Exactly. Okay.
Make sure to tenderize.
He's like pieing through the cabinets looking for different seasonings and. Alrighty, yeah, we go downstairs.
Okay. Yeah, this time the creaky creak staircase definitely creaks under the weight of like several sets of footsteps going down. Yeah, so like it's the three of you in this sort of like small 10 by 15 room, like sort of 5 by 10 of which is taken up by the stairs. So there's really only like kind of like 4 squares of space in a small room, and there's a door on one of the walls.
Right, motion for the other guys is like stay on the stairs for a bit, like step back a bit, and then open the door if it's a trap. We don't need more people to get hurt.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You push your way into the room. Yeah, it's just a relatively small private living quarters. For an officer, there's like a bed, a desk, like a chest of drawers, like a space for some personal equipment and stuff. The captain himself is pacing or patrolling, I should say, back and forth in the room. But he's not walking. He's in like a sort of Professor Xavier style floating like wheelchair thing. This seems to be like mechanically powered. There's probably some magic involved, but like it seems
Is it
to be
actually
like more of a
hovering, or is there like
yeah, it's
wheels?
actually hovering. It's more of like a sort of inventor device than arcane. But yeah, it's like got sort of cables and stuff that's like causing it to and like on the front, like directly like mounted, like off to one side, but on a mechanism that would allow it to like swing into place in like in a one action, is like a sort of a mounted like crossbow thing that looks like it's probably like repeating of some kind. Like it's not just like a normal sort of crossbow. It's got like mechanisms and
cool.
self-loading stuff going on. Yeah, and as the man himself is like a sort of he's a little older than the ones you see. He's probably like in his late 30s. He's obviously he's not standing, so it's hard to judge height. But like not a huge guy, but like it's probably slighter of build. Bald with like sort of neat facial hair and sort of like kind of like Mediterranean sort of dark skin. He kind of like he looks around as you guys as the door opens. At first, like sort of the anger of an officer who's been interrupted by one of his men without knocking, and then secondly, shock, and then finally kind of suspicion and concern. But he seems to come to like to terms with the realities of the situation, like very quickly. And the first words out of his mouth is. What have you done with my men?
They're all fine. We've not harmed a hair on any one of them.
Kind of like cranes his neck a bit to see Bromwalk there behind Leon. And yeah, he like kind of takes another look at you, Leon, and again takes in the shield, and you see him kind of again make the leap to who exactly he's face to face with. He says, I see. How are you here? Has the city fallen and we just don't know?
There are a lot of questions on both sides, I'm sure. Sorry, what was this guy's name? Is M something?
Captain Malik. Hamran Malik.
Captain
Not to be
Malik.
confused with the Malik from the old Republic games.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Malik, well, your men are well educated, and so are you, it seems. We are of the Resistance. My name is Leon. And we have come to free the city of the Dawn. Now, this poses a problem, considering they have called for and hired an army of mercenaries. And you lead a part of it. I hope that we can sit across from each other at your table and come to terms with our views on the matter. What do you say? Are you open to this possibility?
We can parley.
I'm very glad to hear that from the bottom of my heart. And I kind of like put down the spear on the wall. So he's in a wheelchair, so he doesn't have a chair. Is there like a table or something like where we can?
There's a bed.
Sit? A bed.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a little.
You sit
bit
down
too-
and pat next to it.
He sees you. He
Diplomacy.
sees you kind of look around and kind of like it gives a wry smile and a shrug and
I
says,
guess like we go upstairs, right? To play a table of
Yeah,
that. Plus, there's
that's-
some beer I saw left in some of the cakes, I think.
"Very well. There can be no harm in taking this upstairs.
Yeah, I could take a look.
There's
see
certainly
if I
more
can
room
find-
there." Okay, yeah. So yeah, he he floats up behind you guys into the main room.
I'll head
Beck,
over
do you
to the bar.
actually just like you just head to the bar?
Yeah, I'll be
Do you-
like turn about, be like anyone wants something. I kind of look to the mercenaries as well, like shrug.
on to them as well. Yeah, like a couple of them tentatively are like, I mean, yeah, like.
Yeah, cool.
One of them's like, actually, mine's
Might be
just
my last day on Earth. Might as well.
one of them's like, actually, mine's just there. Could you pass? Like, because they've just been like gathered into the corner. And he's like,
Like,
my
slide
drink
along
was
the
just
table.
okay, sure.
Yeah, and pull some pints through everyone.
Okay.
And go sit down at the table.
Yeah, he
Well-
seems to, he seems to take note of like the good treatment of his men as he moves himself into a position opposite where Leon is sat down.
Oh, well, sorry, while Beck's doing that, I quickly want to take a moment with Asik, locate the
sure.
rat and be like, hey buddy,
You got
let's-
mental connections anyway, right?
Oh yeah, right.
That's
no, that's-
right.
Okay, so I locate him, but then mentally, yeah, right.
yeah.
I'll be like, hey Asik, buddy, that chair he's sitting in is mighty fancy. Could you maybe try and find out if there's any way he could send out a signal or anything unnoticed by us? Just taking precautions.
I was so amazed by all of it and the crossbow. I didn't even think about any signals, but that's a good thinking. I'll sneak around. I'll have a look.
Yeah, thanks.
So while you're doing that, and while everyone's kind of preparing, Beck's pouring drinks and whatever, Bramok just mentally tells everyone, like, hey, I'm just going to make sure there's no other soldiers upstairs.
Like nod slowly to myself.
Give me a crafting check, please, Asik. GR me a crafting check. Bromwalk, yeah, like over the course of the next minute or so, you go and sort of like check everywhere upstairs, but no, there's no one there.
We don't use any of the comments, right? Just the regular GR.
Yeah, just the regular GR. Oh shit. Yeah, you can immediately identify many features of this chair. It's clear that he's a pretty like competent inventor or tinkerer. It's definitely got like a good number of cool features. Sort of like it can drop caltrops. It can probably fly pretty high. Do the old, like it's got sort of Bond car gadget, like the smoke screen and like the grease, like skidder and everything. Like the crossbow looks like it could fire like different types of energy ammunition with like a relatively short, like only a few actions to refit for a different type and stuff. Like it's a pretty decent get together. Like it can even it's got like features that let you sort of do the equivalent of like a raised shield action where like like panels like slide up on either side of for like a turn or whatever. But nothing you see gives you any indication that like it's capable of like transmitting invisibly in some way. Like you can't like discount the possibility that like one of the tubes could fire like a flare rocket or something that would like send off a signal, but nothing that you can see that would be like this is like magic communication or whatever.
Would I feel confident that I could improve it in any way?
I mean, you definitely think you could improve it in certain ways.
Okay.
But like that's it's like it's more subjective. Maybe you're like man, it'd be cool with like racing stripes.
Technically, could I offer him like my work on it? Like, would I be able to contribute, or is it just like way?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you've probably got like alchemical substance, like better grease for the greases
Ooh,
that
yeah.
Spencer and stuff.
Then you
like,
actually using like the super glue and you just completely fucked it. It's like, oh,
yeah.
grease was actually super glue.
Yeah, just give Leon a little nod.
Oh, you're muted.
Anyway, Leon, you
He offers to do like a lift kit and a rear spoiler and
Oh yeah. Something my ride featuring acid.
Asik just improves it to fly at like 500 fly speed. It's like smash it straight into a wall the first time he tries to move. Like boom. Anyway, yeah, Leon. So you conversed briefly with Asic and then sat down.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Be like, right, so I think as a gesture of good faith, I'll allow you to ask the first question.
How did you get here? It doesn't seem like the city has been infiltrated.
So cool. I like to drink some beer.
Well, we'll get onto the specifics of it later, but the Resistance has gathered many resources, and we wish for the city to be freed of the Dawn and its mercenary defense as soon as possible. So
I just wish he's just like a politician. He doesn't say shit.
we penetrated.
Leanne would totally be an Aes Sedai.
We didn't take the main gates. Not
It
yet.
is something we may need to reuse in the future, so forgive us if we can't be completely transparent.
Wink when he says transparent.
What choice have I?
Confusing myself, and I'm like, transparent, yeah, I know that.
This conversation is on your terms.
Right. So I think what's important here is trying to gauge the willingness of your guys' ability to cooperate with us. Now, I'm sure you've heard many stories of the people that employ you, who we are, and why it is in your best interest to defend these walls. But I want to get across to you that I've been a member of the Resistance for a long time now, and within that time, all I've wanted to do is protect the people of this empire.
Ooh,
The
by the way,
people
can
of the
we?
empire, not the empire itself. Sorry, yeah?
No, just out of game. Can we place his accent, like in what part of the empire he's from?
From his like general appearance and the way he talks, probably like Ortalan, some like the human kingdom on the far side around Iron Sands, like Galewood, New Dawn, Laconia,
Okay.
that part of the world probably. There was
Well,
the
that's
human
actually
lands
one of the
before.
first places, right, that was taken over by the devils.
Yeah.
Okay. I note that for ammunition later. I may even mention that to them as, he seems like he may have come from that area, from New Dawn. Mentally to the party.
Yeah, sure. Let's see what So yes, the goal of the Resistance is to eliminate the Dawn in its entirety. For what they represent is evil in nature. It means tyranny, it means slavery, it means death, unjust. Surely you can agree that's the side that you are allying yourself with. They're rotten to the core.
My men and I are here because we're pragmatists and realists. We don't have the luxury of the idealism of those who dream that a world can be restored to the way it once was. The fact is that every word you may have said is true, and yet you don't have the numbers, you don't have the force. Yes, you can probably overwhelm us here at AIM. I'm sure you've had a string of successes across West Church and Faladar. You might even hold this small corner of the world for a few weeks, a month, maybe. But eventually, the might of the Dawn, the might of what was once Atlas and is no longer, will wash down upon you. Commander Doomizid will lead his legions here one way or the other. And if I and my men have betrayed our contracts and sided with you on a gamble for a world that we have no way of ever believing we will see again, then we will all of us be imprisoned or slaughtered. I will not commit my men to that.
Would you rather commit them to death here at our hands? You're saying it's more likely that... Well, you think it's less likely we manage to win than you guys manage to get out of this alive if we attack the city? You'd rather gamble with men's lives on that. But all I'm saying, we're right here. And I kind of look around to your men, and your men are right fucking there.
Yeah, if you like pragmatism, let me put it clearly. What the Dawn have done here is impressive. They've called far and wide for men like yourself, adventurers, mercenary, whatever you wish to call yourself. However, the resistance spent years and years in conviction and tenacity, growing stronger. And all of its force is outside these walls, ready to bear down on you. This is not a fight you can win.
And what then? What will you do next? When the Dawn marshal their true forces and aren't caught by surprise and descend upon this corner, how do you intend to free the world from here?
We've hidden in the shadows for a long time. So much that many have not even heard of us, of our cause, of our deeds. Now we choose to reveal ourselves to the world. We have indeed had many successes in the recent days. Do you think we would do this if we did not have a strategy, a plan of victory?
There is no plan. What possible route could there be? You don't have the numbers. You don't have the forces. You don't have the supplies. You're outmatched in every way against this foe. Do you think you would have done it without a plan? I can't see what the plan could have been.
If we could see it, maybe it'd be on our side.
Maybe.
You're muted, George.
I know. No, I say again, you're not wrong in not seeing the full of the plan. We've been keeping these close to the chest for many days. The key to any form of resistance victory is removing Xavier. Surely you can, as a commander, you can see that. But something has to happen first. The Dawn is preparing to try to force an allyship with a creature of immense power. We have to stop it, or there will be no hope for the future.
I'll admit, I've heard of you. Your deeds across this land have come to the ear of almost everyone by now, I'd expect. He kind of regards each of you, looking up at you one by one, and says, You cling to this hope so fervently. Do you truly, honestly believe that this world can be restored, or is this, if you face deep inside yourselves, must you admit that this is truly a vain hope, a last desperate struggle, because you don't know any other way to live but to fight the Dawn? Because that's what I think it is.
Well, let me try and put your worries at rest. There have been many times in my years that I've doubted. However, with the strength I see in the brothers beside me, and the things we accomplish by sheer will, there is no doubt in my mind that we are on the right path.
Make your diplomacy check, Leon.
Ooh, baby.
A secret, of course.
Oh, is it secret?
Is it not secret?
No.
Oh shit! My
Go ahead and roll
So-
an audit. We can't take that, obviously.
Gab information is, but making a fashion request or not. So, I assume this isn't gathering information.
Yeah.
No, I mean, hero points, right?
Can you use 0 points on this? You
Of
can,
course.
right?
Some
Yeah,
kind of-
I'll-
and you
I'll-
roll
I'll-
it
always,
down.
I'll-
always fish for a lower number.
Always.
Alright.
Not 20.
Okay.
Okay, that's better.
He's pensive. For a long, deep moment. And says, very well. You speak sense. If you have the strength and power to visit me here and now, then some of what you say is undeniable. My men and I will not oppose your forces in their conquest of this city. Kind of gestures towards you, Beck, and says, what you say is right. 'Tis little difference to die here at your hands or imprisoned later by the dawn when they retake this country. So, if there is a chance that you may be right, then let us have that chance. But I am not the only captain you will need to convince if you wish to sweep through the city entirely unopposed.
It's gonna be a long day.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, the other one sort of kind of choosing, but sounds like if we need to speak with them, could you at least tell us where they are? We won't, we gotta find them somewhere, but we'd rather find our way than by interrogating more men.
He,
Before he speaks,
Yeah.
though, I say, and I know that's asking quite a lot, Captain. All of us here will swear, give our words, that though the other mercenary captains will be given the same opportunity as you have. We don't wish to eradicate all the mercenaries who were just here, probably in a similar situation to you.
And your name would not be mentioned, of course.
Yeah, I don't mean for convenience, I don't want to have to, fucking go hit a kid outside on one of the other levels, make them tell us. But if you want, I can do that.
he thinks about it for a good long moment again, and then he flips a switch on his chair, which
fuck.
pops like a little pops like a little pen out of like a hole, like on a spring mechanism, which he catches out of the air and just takes it and begins scribbling on a sort of starts for a second as he kind of what's he done? But just and he just catches it and then just pulls a piece of paper from one side of the sort of table in front of him, begins scribbling, and he kind of he's writing notes for a sort of intense kind of 90 seconds or so at least. So you guys got some time to sort of look around or look at each other or whatever. He's just kind of wordlessly.
I'll pour a second pint, you know what?
Sure, yeah. 90 seconds for a
Or
third
just,
pint.
Was a motion like this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and after a while, he's finished scribbling. He clicks the pen back into the pot, folds the note neatly in kind of half between two fingers, and holds it out across the table towards you, Leon. And he says, "If you're to have any hope of convincing them, I think you're going to need to mention my name."
I see. Thank you for this. I'm truly grateful for. It can't be easy in your position, coming to this decision.
Yeah, and as you reach out to take the note, he just holds it away from your hand for just a second, and he says, "If there is to be a chance, then it is a chance everyone will have to give." And he, kind of holds it out across towards you again.
Yeah.
And you unfold it, and it's the name of four other captains and brief descriptions of where in the city that they would be.
Okay.
Time to ninja vanish.
Yeah. I guess, we just.
All we leave behind are empty mugs. It's man, the guy.
I don't know what you're saying. It tastes exactly the same, Beck.
What do you mean? I mean, I maybe poured it a little badly, but come on.
Does the pour make that big of a difference on the taste?
Oh yeah.
Well,
From my
well,
guess.
well, it can do.
It definitely does.
yeah.
You drink like beer from a bottle, you drink it from the tap, you can tell the difference.
Oh yeah, sure. But like I feel like the difference between like from the tap, like it's only if someone's poured it really badly, where you're like, oh man, there's like a fucking load of head here.
'Cause
And,
the
like,
head is-
it's like an average pour. You can't like make it taste better by being like, man, I did such a good
Like-
pour here, you know.
Also, at the bottom of the stein, you can just pour it into your mouth.
Have like a Guinness, it matters a lot. You know, you gotta like pour it and let it settle.
That's true.
Yeah. Would that work, by the way, if you just like had the stein upside down and continue to refill it and just let it pour out into your mouth?
I'm sure it describes somewhere in the text why that doesn't work.
Sadly, thank you.
Sure, it tells you why that doesn't work. But yeah, refills once a minute or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you guys probably spend like the rest of the day, like the full day of like sneaking around a city, locating somewhere that was described in the notes that Captain Mallet gave you. Occasionally, you have to like interrogate some people or render some people unconscious to like zero in exactly the location. Carefully and I assume at like every point taking the utmost caution not to alert the Dawn at all to what's happening is presumably your like sort of primary primary goal. You make your way from mercenary captain to mercenary captain, and one by one, you sit Leon and down across the table with the rest of you, just around.
We're fucking splashed by the evening. Drank so many.
have these conversations. Not all of them take place in bar rooms, but more than one other one does.
Damn, that's fine, I guess.
And yeah, one by one, and like by the time you get to like the last few, and you can say like, yeah, there's like everyone else is given up by now. It gets easier over the course of the day. Like definitely, Captain Malik was the hardest one to convince.
Nice.
But yeah.
This is 100% Leon is the Captain America with the chair thing. I just pull it up every time.
But yeah, like it's. I mean, by the time you're finished with the final conversation with the final, it's like 10 p.m. It's like it's been like the full day. It's been navigating your way around and inside of the castle and speaking. You're actually getting quite good at finding your way around. And yeah, and like with that conversation, you basically could talk to the entire mercenary. The entire mercenary company around, or at least all of the commanders, into your side, and yeah, basically, like the agreement is that you can, it was formulated over the last few years that you guys can basically your forces can approach the castle in the morning, and they will like surrender the Dawn officers. They'll like capture and surrender the Dawn officers to you.
Damn.
And open the city.
All right.
Yeah, like when we're leaving, like the last place, I'm like, holy shit, Leon, were you always this convincing, man? What the hell? Man, it's a lot easier when they haven't signed that fucking contract, huh?
Right, this is what. This is what.
Yeah, I mean, now I get what you were trying these fucking weeks. Yeah.
But it is just impossible when there's literally no redemption.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are just like people made a fucked up choices. To be honest, I wouldn't mind fucking kicking a few of them in the head to show them what they've done, but like at least like I can see a little too much of myself in them, In the fucking Dawn though, it's not even close.
I mean, I won't say that nobody in Dawn has. They're still human. But
yeah, sure, whatever. No, good day. Let's not ruin it by silly talk.
Right. Let's not get back into these old conversations.
But we gotta get out of here then, and then tell them the good news. How were we?
Yes.
I kind of looked to Moon some more like. So did you say like would a magic teleportation might get us out or might fuck up or what are you?
Could we attempt to circumnavigate it by doing the connection to Greybird to then connect with them? Like, does that magic get through?
If you wanted to send a message to Greybird, it would be like each individual time. It would like attempt to counteract it. Basically, I'd like to determine the level of her magic and.
Like, wait, could we like teleport to like right on the other side of the barrier and then just like sprint through it, right?
The barrier's kind of at the wall, like more or less.
Okay.
So
like, it was, like, right up.
you guys could go like just jump off the wall and and that would work.
Okay, so we think we could probably get out quite easily, actually, based on our day.
Relatively, yeah.
We know it well enough. Oh, well, let's just do that then. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, we can jump off the wall. That's no problem.
Like you guys have plenty of ways like flying down or like climbing or leaf falling or just like landing.
People might take some like
acrobatics
hard
or
shots at
whatever.
us, I guess, right? Whatever, if they like care.
Yeah, well, it's late in the evening right now, so you guys just
That's true.
it's possible to do it again stealthily. So yeah, you guys again find your way to kind of like I guess an area similar to what was described as climbing in is one of the ways you go. You sort of go around to one of the extreme sort of edges of the city and find a section of wall where a patrol isn't currently passing, and lower yourselves down like the shadow of a tower, almost sort of invisibly, or just drop.
We plant some bombs in the tower.
Exactly, and then boom in the background. You guys don't look, of course. Sunglasses on, you walk away.
Cool guys.
Middle of the night, sunglasses on, classic.
So cool.
But yeah, you guys, you managed to slip away from the castle with relative ease, and then it's like a bit of a trek back as you sort of out camped outside of artillery range. So it's I think a few more hours before you make.
Honestly, at that
all the way
point,
back
our
to-
spells will regen in the morning. Maybe we just teleport back to the campus sooner we're past the barrier, right?
Yeah.
Like it takes 10 minutes.
Yeah,
to pass
sure.
them. We
Yeah,
stay-
yeah.
I mean, we give the army an extra 3 hours to prepare for the assault in the morning,
Yeah.
right? Like it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Plus,
That
we've been
makes
walking around all day today. My feet are fucking killing me. Like the concrete, man. I'm not used to walking on it.
Why do they make cities that big?
Right? Jesus.
I mean,
I
good old.
admit though, I'm still a little restless. I really thought today we'd have at least a bit of, action.
Yeah, did we never even run into a single dawn patrol that we could remove?
And I got the feeling like there are barely any dawn actually patrolling.
Yeah,
No,
there's
there
only a
really
handful.
were hardly any.
Like just mercenary patrols.
Yeah. So you guys, you make your way back.
From what Captain Malik said, is that the Dawn will respond in force quickly, maybe quicker than we anticipated. So I think we'll get we'll get some boats in.
Oh, he said in the coming weeks, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our estimates gave us roughly 6 days still. If we can do this
Yeah, well,
over the next couple days.
what he was
that's
kind
We'll be
of,
done by then. Yeah.
in
Yeah, what he
weeks,
was
the
kind of
whole
hinting
peasants
on-
of the dawn will be here to like basically build.
what he was kind of hinting on that you guys, I mean, kind of knew and like hinted at that, because basically what he was saying is
Like
you
eventually.
have no chance. Like, what's your plan? Like, continues like march an army through into like here and attack.
Yes.
Like he's like that you guys might take Fallon on West Church, yes, because you've done an attack in a sensibly geographically located place, but like the inevitable trend after that is that like they take land and eventually like stomp. That you have no chance of, because obviously he doesn't know that like the whole purpose is to fucking stop. That it isn't to really try and overthrow the Dawn. It's to stop Sandorix, and then past that is kind of like, well, we've prevented them from creating the sort of like the super doomsday weapon. If we all die here, well, at least someone else now has a chance in the future. Sort of.
Yeah. Well, and it
plan.
puts them in the most defensible position for holding out.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's kind of what he's getting at. Is like, what is the long-term plan? Obviously, you guys, kind of hinted at that a little bit, but didn't want to reveal the full deets quite reasonably. So you it takes a bit of convincing for Andrew Morrigan to believe that.
Man, you won't believe it, man.
He's just
Especially
like,
fucking toasted.
we parachuted in, ready to fuck everyone up, and instead we had conversations, and now they're all on our side. Or at least they're all going to non-contest the. But yeah, like he doesn't like doubt it for too long, right? Like not an idiot. And eventually, plans are being made for the to move in and occupy the city through the presumably open front gates. Shortly after first light. Get everyone roused up and then line them up in rows, and then someone blows a horn and you line them up in triangles, and then you all walk forwards together. That's how armies work.
I've never done that.
Effects like looking forward to like my,
Yeah, it's gonna be right now. I kind of point to the front.
It was a bit of blow the horn, like
No, baby.
Yeah. So over the course of the evening, yeah, like sort of plans are being made and stuff. No one's really exactly sure how it's going to go down, but like on the kind of optimistic assumption that it's going to be successful, people are making plans, for like how the city's going to be occupied, for getting ready to dismantle the siege camp, where to move on to next, and so on. Although, yeah, everyone seems like slightly bemused. The people who made the battering ram are really disappointed. That it's not going to get but maybe they can just like keep the gates closed and we can just knock them down ceremonially, like.
Yeah, at like one point I kind of like with Vespa, I'm like, I don't reckon it's a little like too good to be true, kind of. It seems a little easy, right?
I'm with you. I don't. Things don't normally go this well.
Yeah. Alright, but we need to be ready to fuck shit up tomorrow, right?
Right, and that's what I actually think. If we can, maybe we go have another conversation with Taliendar and ask him to do us a dive bomb a second time if we have the materials. So we can be in the town, we can be in the city tomorrow in case someone holds back or goes against their word.
Yeah, in case we gotta open a gate from that side or something.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good backup.
I mean, hopeful idiot here. I like to think that we made a difference today. I don't mind being cautious. Surely, if things go wrong.
I think it's
terrible.
we all hope for the best and we plan for the worst.
All right, but I think for the mercenaries, at least one or a few of us should be outside. So that they know those are based.
Yeah, I definitely think that you are the most recognizable, Leon, and you are the one swinging that diplomacy around.
the big D.
Mm-hmm. It'd be Beck, myself, and either Moonsong or ASIC.
Maybe we have the option where if it's I don't know. Hard to be sure, really.
I'm good by.
Was we also saying if they ever decided? No, I mean it's no. Yeah, whatever. Whatever you guys think best.
And that way we can hopefully attempt to. I mean, there's a chance it doesn't work, right? It gets counteracted, but we can say if things look correct from the inside before we go too far and really potentially overcommit the army.
Yeah. I don't think Asik wants to fly again. He'll stay on the ground, Leo.
Okay.
Yeah, but not fly.
Understandable.
Tip. So, Beck, Brahmak, Moonsong.
Do we even need it? Like, I don't know what we think's gonna happen. Do we even need a dragon, or could we just fly in ourselves? We all have the ability, right? If we're not gonna.
I mean, yes, but like 5-minute flight. Which is probably not enough. How long did it take on a dragon's back?
Well, I mean, we went a long way down. No, but I guess you're right. It's more just like, I mean, we could just walk up to the Wolverine and then just fly from there if we were invisible all the time.
True. We could try that as well, but my concern is if we're doing this in preparation of the chance that one or more of the captains goes against their word.
Yeah.
If that's the case, they're not going to not help. They will have told the higher ups. They'll all be prepared and looking out for us. So I don't think we have the element of surprise unless we go skydive again. Because who could be prepared for that kind of bullshit?
Yeah, I mean, if the dragon is willing to do it again, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yep, they totally.
Good thing we didn't spill that particular secret.
Alright, so I guess me, Moonsong, and Bromok will basically try to be inside the early morning. Maybe if I don't know, we try to go to bed a little early tonight, I guess, so we can wake up and
sure, that's fine.
Just so we can be on the inside while it's up, and then we can have a look, see if they actually rounded up the Dawn officers or if that was a pipe dream.
Hoax.
Did they say
Um,
where they're gonna have them near the front gates, or what is the rounding up of the office? Or where are they taking them?
I mean, it sounded like they were going to basically take them out and like just hand them over to us, right, when the gate was opened.
All right.
How I
yeah. So you guys parachute in. We don't need to go through the whole sequence again. But you guys do another, high altitude, low opening drop
Drop. Let's go.
into the city from Dragonback to investigate what's happening. And yeah, it does indeed seem that like a small coup has sort of taken place in the sort of early hours of the morning. And numerous Dawn officers, probably. I mean, less than 100 total in the city, but like totaling something like that, are like being individually bound, gagged, dragged through the street. Dawn, like as you guys have discovered in the past, they're really hard to take alive. It only really has worked in this case so easily because of like the sheer element of surprise. But even then, like every like Dawn. They're so mandated to like not be able to give up that even like bound and gagged, like they have to like they're like struggling constantly and like working. Like, they can't just sort of like accept I'm tied up and can't even get free.
Yeah, like
they
basically.
Yeah, they struggle themselves to like exhaustion or unconsciousness basically in their bonds rather than like because if they give up, their soul is forfeit basically. So yeah, like
I mean, isn't it either way? They break the contract, or when they die, their soul is still.
Well, they go to a worse death if they.
Yeah. Like they're like exactly their like soul is going to be in a better position in hell if they were like loyal Dawn.
I assume they get a pretty good position, right? If they actually sign a contract, they completely follow it. Like, otherwise, you've got to have some benefit, or why would anyone ever sign up to be Dawn?
Right. Good point. But it could all be bullshit as well.
Could be.
Yeah, that's true, of course. Yeah. But I get like when I see that like they've done a word, I'll like kind of come out from I guess we've been kind of like keeping to shadows a bit, but like I'll check with Blomok and Moon.
Yeah,
he's okay. I'll kind of be like come out in public and be like, yeah, good shit, boys, good shit.
They're like lining them up in rows, and like it looked like they basically were planning on like opening the front gates and being like, ta-da, here they are. Like they were basically like lining them up behind the like right inside the front gates, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll view myself and just like, yeah, good. Glad to see you sort it out your ways.
Okay.
Give a wag.
Captain Malik sees you and kind of like floats over and says, you came here. You really didn't trust anything, do you? That makes sense.
Trust, but I don't know. What was it said?
Yeah, hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Trust the best, like, and that one. Prepare for the...
Hope for the best, but verify.
Hope for the best, that's so...
Precisely. You don't survive long in this world and as a member of the Resistance without that.
Trust, but plan for the worst. Mix up your phrases.
I kind of nodded. Looks good. I like kind of look at like the dag, like the bound numbers, like this. And I like try to survey. Is any of these the one in charge?
He shakes his head and says, "Unfortunately, we weren't able to take him alive. We did our best with most of them, but fully a third of them died in the attempt to capture them."
I always find it tough myself. Normally, it's maybe my fault, but it's always a tricky one to take them alive.
Especially when you don't even fucking make any effort, you just crit the shit out of them.
You just keep falling to my sword. I just don't get it.
He says that.
They don't even try to stay up. No.
Kind of just go up to the wall to kind of watch the rebellion to like approach. Play it pretty cool.
Yeah.
They sort of like I guess assume Leon, you lead the way on Claudia's back up to the front.
I make sure to have Commander Mograine with me.
Morgan.
Morgan.
Morgan
here, he's did a great job.
Yeah. So at the head of the procession rides Leon and
give you the big thumbs up from the wall.
On Morgan.
Thumbs up back.
And the walls are like disarmed. Like there aren't armed soldiers on them. Like the siege weapons are all like unloaded or partially dismantled. As you approach and the gates swing open before you. Captain Malik, who seems to be the sort of like de facto one who is if not is temporarily in charge, if for the purposes only of surrendering the city. Formally surrenders to you, Leon.
Yeah, and I'm sure like the previous night with Captain Morgan, we did discuss, and it would be disseminated down that like none of the mercenaries are to be hurt, or like that the agreement is that they This victory is as much
yeah.
ours as it is theirs right now.
And actually, even as he's surrendering to you, as he's surrendering to you, Leon, he says, yeah, in fact, there's been an unexpected effect of this that I did not foresee coming. Many of my men, especially the most aspirational among them, take the view that if their lives are forfeit in the eyes of the Dawn anyway, then they may as well join the resistance and fight against them. You will find many volunteers on the streets of AIM today, if your goal is to bolster your ranks. I myself am a little too cynical, I think, for all of this. I will return home if you will allow it.
I understand. The terms are every man walks free, unless they wish to fight for what they believe in, and we will welcome them with open arms.
He nods and says, well, I think you'll find more than a few. Pragmatic, like I said.
Well, I am glad that today the sun rose without any needless bloodshed.
As am I. Hopefully, you're right and I'm wrong about all of this.
We share this hope. I'll look at Commander Morgan and say, let's change those banners and flag, shall we? Similar to in Goldsoul.
Oh,
Captain Malik just like flies off into the sunset, like
Straight towards the sun.
oh, let's go, my people need me. But he doesn't actually. He's still around for like the day or whatever, like the changeover. But yeah. So yeah. In the end, like probably about 2/3. So another like 10,000. Like it basically more or less doubles the size of the resistance force that was here specifically. When you're done. Like yeah, many. I mean, basically they take the view that well, if their captains have surrendered, have given up their allegiance to the Dawn, and they all feel. I mean, some of them are slightly resentful about it. Some of them feel slightly screwed, but they all kind of like take the view that many of them take the view that well, you know what, if there's going to be a chance to put an end
in for
to
a penny,
this,
in for a pound.
Yeah, exactly. And that ends up being quite like a logistical challenge throughout the whole day. It's like sort of reorganizing the army that you have with all of the new soldiers and command structures and everything.
A lot of new promotions to sergeant.
Do any of the mercenary captains decide to join, or is it mainly just the soldiers? So?
A couple of them do. Yeah,
luckily,
not Malik. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And many of the Dawn leadership are here anyway. Basically everyone is more or less either here or at Fort Swellvane, and Greybird is the only one who's not really either of those. She's gone off to
out in the.
She's gone to the forest towards the ziggurat to sort of like pave the way, and like
Salinar.
exactly
Yep.
and like check it out and get everything ready.
Okay.
Ahead of all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
from the day as we did like watching, I guess like the changing over and everything. I'm just like shaking my head a bit, like, oh, it really worked. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I think
So
it's
it did.
the river
least-
moves slowly, but when it does,
yeah, I really thought we were gonna like just parachute in and see like Malik's head on a spike or something, and like step one, go back to step one, Oh,
It just means
Legendary diplomacy, man.
yeah.
Diplomatic as
Seriously.
fuck.
however bleak things might seem, there's still a way to fight your way out of it.
Yeah, but we didn't do that.
Well, I mean,
that was as
fights-
much of a fight as anything else we've done. Just a
Oh.
very different type.
Alright, it's fine. It's all.
It's fighting for it was a fight for the heart of those mercenaries and their captains.
Yeah,
Yeah, like all those things I said, I believe, but man, putting them into words, that's tough. Like trying to sound like you're,
You ever practice in the mirror?
No, I just try to keep it true. Guess.
Sure, you'll get better.
Thanks.
At least 3 more levels worth of better. Because I don't know how
Yeah,
much else you can do.
Time for crystals.
Oh no, wait. But alright, but in the forest, they're not going to be right? The forest, so I could actually,
Yeah.
We-
There's going to be no diplomacy with Sandorix.
Alright, good. At least I can help with that then.
Well, at least give me a try. Nice.
If you fucking
the
try
difference
to
is-
talk doom as it'll cut off your own head.
Yeah, a being of almost pure evil.
Yeah, no, it certainly has been screaming at me for days.
Yeah.
To destroy
It'd be
it.
like trying to convince Xavier.
I can give you a look, Leon. You're not
Only
gonna
you might have a
fucking
better
do that.
chance, because at
Maybe.
least you might have like a legal, right, like a lawful.
Look, you talk to him all you want, but what I'm doing is I'm swinging a sword at his head.
Yeah,
while
no.
talking to him. So
Well,
feel
minus
free.
sword,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
bow, yes. Yeah.
I like the sound of that, yeah.
Alright, let's find one of those bars again. The cock really called to me. That's what it was called. It's not my fault.
Golden
It's
Rooster.
named
The
it.
golden rooster.
Just named it.
I got the golden rooster. What did I don't. Anyway, the cock is falling to back, so you guys return to the cock.
Exactly. That's I swear we're all the mercenaries for the calls right
Yeah, I'm sure. And yeah, you guys sort of like
Nothing's like
celebrate a bit of the, like a bit of a, one evening to relax in the midst of this, midst of all this rebellion. And yeah, take some time. Couple of hours pass.
That's all
It's
happening,
dark
by the way.
outside.
Does the magic thing come down?
Oh yeah, that was never really like an actual barrier. It was like an
Right.
emergent like front between like hundreds of spellcasters constantly
Yeah,
casting
on each
spells
side.
one way and
Yep.
hundreds and like doing rituals to place wards and like putting up just like any barriers. It's more just like it's an easier way to sort of like describe the overall magical effect as it would be.
Wait, once that's down, we do try to get like just a check-in update from Greybird on how things are going in Swellvane.
But isn't
Uh,
swearing though, she's at the forest, right?
Yeah, land
Yeah.
Right,
rats,
but
I
she's.
do.
Oh, you
I'm
mean
assuming
she's-
she can
Oh,
do.
like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
She you get an update from her. She says nice to hear from you, Bromok. I'm just getting near the ziggurat now, actually, and from what I've heard, Fort Swellvane, things are progressing at pace. It shouldn't be long now.
Good to hear. Stay safe.
Watch out.
How's it?
We informed
It's a very quick
Greybeard
check-in.
of what we did here and what happened. We did, right? Sure.
Sure, someone told her, right?
Sure, someone
Yeah.
told her, right?
Oh,
Did we do it, Chris?
I,
Yeah.
I'm
Just
assuming,
kept
just
up
fill
with
in the
it.
gaps of like, oh, by the way, we won.
Yeah,
Slash-
it doesn't need you guys to tell her about that.
Yeah.
So like you check in with her. Another sort of 10 minutes or so pass, and then so Beck, you're over by the counter, like pouring out another pint. You got like 3 people's empty glasses lined up. You're doing a few for a few people at
Yeah.
once. You're over by the counter. Leon, you're just like sitting at a table chatting with a couple of new mercenary friends. You're all just kind of like spaced out around the room when suddenly all of you who are connected to Greybird get suddenly intrusively loud voice in her voice in your head, and you hear her shouting, mentally shouting rapidly, "It's a trap! It was all a trap! They're here waiting! I can't!" And then it just cuts off.
I just immediately stand up and look at the others.
That's
Yeah,
where
like
the session will- that's where we're
in
gonna end
the
the
class,
session.
holding the pint glass, just kind of smashed in my hand, and and it's like in Griffin, and it's like
Yeah, like you look over and Bromok's already writing out a teleportation circle. And
You guys were right.
Again.
It wasn't. It's not as good.
I mean, this place wasn't the trap.
no,
I don't think.
yeah.
Yeah, this place is fine.